on, and now I'm playing the music. And okay, welcome everyone. Welcome. Today we will be talking about the Christmas Showdown units. Today I will be letting everyone else lead the intro because right now I didn't post anything. I'm not ready yet. I need to fetch a bunch of things like the link and all that. So go ahead and introduce yourselves. Yes.
First.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Hello, it's me again. You all know who I am already. Hello, it's me.
Oh.
You didn't hear
Hello.
Good. Sorry, I just let it stream itself for a second. But go ahead, Milk.
Listen.
Okay. Hello. I'm here again. I'm actually very excited about this Christmas event. I like it a lot.
Hello. I am here again as well, and I am not excited about this Christmas event, and already suffered the cursed consequences of it.
What in your calls?
Didn't you
Yes.
actually get like a real good 5 stars now?
I got both 5 stars, but I didn't want any of them.
What was jackass? Well, why did he even pull? What did you want then?
I was going for Hermes to get at least one copy of him, and then I suddenly got Nomad, and I was like, shit, I don't want Nomad to be the only unit I have 4 cards of. So I then started pulling for Jiraiya, and then Benten appeared. That is essentially my story of this banner.
Okay, good job, everyone. You stalled perfectly fine. All right, everything has been ready. I have posted social links and all that, and link to the chat is down in the Discord server. Okay, sorry, that was such an awkward thing. But yeah, I'm also excited for what's called the missions that are from this event and all that. But we can talk about that after. Right now, let's just jump into the discussion, which is a bit late now. Okay, having kind of whiplash here. We will be starting with the ARs, and the first one we will talk about is this one, which let me just read out the comments before we begin. Yay, hello, hi, yo, hello, very original. Hi everyone, good to see you. Can't wait to get to the Fenrir AR. I got Katara 5, so you don't know my pain. Oh, I do know your pain. All I want for Christmas is Nomad and like half the ARs. Interesting. Well, the event's still young, so maybe you'll get it. Anyways, moving on to the first AR of this banner, we will be talking about the Sitri Bathym AR, which, like, I'm sure it's translated, like, unofficially by our translators, but just look at the Japanese name. I don't know what it's called. So this AR bestows a Rage Plus to the ally behind the person that has this AR equipped at an 80% rate. So it's pretty high, but again, it's the status level is dependent on the max AR level. So if you only have 1 copy of this, you're only going to bestow a status level 1 Rage Plus. That is to say, it will only increase their damage by 1.25 times. It will not be your usual full scale 2.5 times Rage. And after moving, you receive a CP, or rather you bestow CP to the ally behind you as well for the unit that has this AR equipped. This AR is, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's like super worth pulling for, but it's like if you're like a whale, it's actually probably one of the best ARs in terms of just giving outright a free damage buff at a full rate. That's actually quite strong. And my recommendations for this AR would just be there's a handful. Let me just pull up these recommendations right here. I would recommend regular Claude, his 5-star, because he already bestows 3 different buffs, damage buffs, and 1 being direct to the unit directly behind him being Ardor. So it already perfectly primes it position-wise for him to give like a 4th damage buff. I think off the top of my mind, he gives like Vigor on move, Ardor when he attacks, and Berserk plus or something on 1 square around also when he moves. With his Evo anyways. And also on charge, technically his attack up, if you have him high for that too. And, you know, Rage Plus, there's none of those, so it can stack with all those, so that makes him quite strong if, you know, you're willing to deal with the low rates of each skill. Besides him, I'd also recommend Festival Ryota, because, well, as good as Ryota is with healing, he actually doesn't really have any CP effects to his allies, so it already primes him to be like a minor CP battery as well to the unit behind him. that he's protecting with all his usual unctions and protections and blessings and all that. And in addition to that, I'd also recommend Oniwaka, his 5-star with his Evo, because if you guys don't quite remember his kit with his Evo, his more recent one, not the one from before, he actually copies all of the buffs of the unit behind him. So because ARs are applied first, he should be able to copy Rage Plus as well immediately after bestowing it, which is an interesting thing of the unit actually benefiting from the thing that's only applied for the allies that are around him instead. And of course, he just really likes having people behind him as well because of his evasion and other effects, and the CPU would benefit that as well. There's not really any nether units that I spotted that would be good for this AR, so it's pretty much just all fire. Those are my thoughts for this AR.
I'm surprised. There's like a somewhat obvious answer, I thought.
Well,
would be good.
You know, I did my best in all of 15 minutes of reviewing the units. So.
Well, I was gonna say that since Rage Plus is a really, really rare buff, I thought it was kind of really good with like the Samna kind of Tangaroa strategy, because it's basically like a free Rage Plus to your entire team rather than like just like one person.
Oh yeah.
Like a nifty like damage boost.
No, that's a good point. I just missed that outright. Now obviously you'd have to be moving Itsamna with what's called Tangoro behind him, but since Tangoro can actually equip this. But yeah, that's another way to get another bonus 1.25 times. But again, it's it's more of a small bonus, not anything to be amazed by, since it's kind of like only 1.25 times unless you get multiple dupes. But no, that's a good point. Thanks for catching that.
I find it funny that I think it was on the last stream with Wakan Mugen that we were talking about how Rage Plus isn't available literally anywhere in the game, and now it is. So
yeah, no,
I guess
honestly, it's a solid rate for just having one dupe, 80%, and like at a constantly available trigger effect when moving too.
Yeah, but don't use it with Wakan Mugen. He can't. He can't get angry.
Well, yeah, don't. That's all I can say. Hi, Erbie. We're waiting for you.
I have no thoughts on this AR whatsoever. I think it's okay. Honestly, most of the ARs here just seem like they don't seem very good to me. They seem okay.
I mean, we'll get to that eventually more in detail, but no, I get what you mean. If you have nothing to say about this area, I guess you can describe the art. How do you feel about the art?
I feel like Bathym is going to jail after this art is published.
It's just
that is my thoughts.
Family memes. It's fine. Alright, if that's everyone's thoughts, then I'm gonna read the comments quickly, and then we'll move on to the next thingy. Cursed AR times, very true. Jipper says, I just want Yasuyori, his Christmas train, for no reason other than it's Yasuyori. I mean, honestly, I would say that would be the only reason, because like I'm not super impressed by his kit anyways. Also, for all the AR Sitri has, it's a real shame he's not a bonus unit. Huh, go figure, didn't realize that. Yeah, I also pulled for Yasuyori. Maybe we have more luck during the event rerun. Well, Christmas banners rarely get rerun, so good luck with that. Valen Gumao, a moment, but Damn needs more copies to have a more decent rage. Yeah, I agree, as we've been training here. With that said, when you do have multiple copies, this would be one of the better ARs. Unfortunately, it's not a free BR, so it's not gonna happen. Still decent, I guess. Bathym, please stop whatever you're doing with Sitri. Okay. Bathym seems to be pretty smug about that. But we will move on to the next AR. This will be covered by someone.
Erbie.
It is
Erbie.
me, I think. Maybe. Perhaps.
Melusine and Snow.
Okay, Melusine and Snow AR. Alright, this AR is actually probably the only one I kind of wanted, but didn't get. It essentially has a 100% chance to reduce your allies' HP in one square round itself every turn. So it works really well with if you're using limit compositions, and it also has an 80 to 100% chance to deplete the enemy's HP by 1,000 on a cone. It's essentially the inverted cone from Dead's 5-star.
Or Melusine's Evo, which is also a cone.
I forgot she got that, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense now actually. Yeah, honestly, it might be a good AR for farming quests where the enemies have low HP. It probably would have been great to use on Triton if you're trying to get that flat damage on dungeons, but unfortunately he's stuck with using the Kushi AR forever, so no more additional flat damage on dungeons. But I think this AR is really good, more so on team compositions that use Yoritomo, because he does keep reducing everyone's HP every turn as well, and constantly bestows them limit. So having an AR that additionally reduces their HP even more will make his limit that much stronger.
It's a bit funny how the fact that's probably more reliable is the one that's supposedly detrimental to your team.
It's also not entirely detrimental. I guess if you're using the new unit that hasn't been reviewed yet, it's going to be transformed into a heal.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, so I guess that was the point of this AR. It was to turn it into a heal with the new unit, but honestly, I think it's just better to use it with limit compositions.
Leannan growing stronger day by day.
That works too, yeah. Leannan can equip it. Yoritomo can also equip it.
The HP effect reduction honestly isn't that interesting to me. It would have been supposedly good with that one archetype they tried to do that one time with low HP, high defense, or evasion units. They did that briefly for.
I think it's actually pretty good. I just don't like the range of it because 1,000 HP at level 1 is pretty nice.
Honestly, it's probably better than a diamond range, because usually the enemies that have low HP and high evasion or defense or something like that is in the back row, not the front.
True, I suppose.
But yeah, those kind of situations are kind of rare nowadays, since most people can just penetrate evasion anyways, and unless they have something like defense or damage resistance, then I don't know, it's not gonna be something super useful. So yeah, if you're planning to use this AR, use it for the HP suck effect of your own team. Funny enough.
I have no more thoughts.
Okay.
Why the screen?
I'm kind of. Oh.
Pardon?
The screen went black for a moment. That was weird.
It's just your side, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of mad on this AR. I think if I pulled it, I would never use it at all. I don't really like how the flat damage is only phase start. I thought it was going to be turn start, but it isn't. And
it's pretty greedy for that. It's like, why even make it so restrictive? It doesn't even scale up, and it's not even guaranteed, and it's such a mediocre HP suck effect too.
Yeah, and the minus 300 turn start, I'm kind of on it. It's just like whatever. I think it's probably a more pronounced effect if you think about it like over time. Like if you waited 10 turns, then that leads to minus 3,000 to your entire team. So I don't know. It's just whatever to me.
It's an option, in the same way of how the Sonic Kumara Licho AR is an option to debuff yourself. This is an option to reduce your own HP. But yeah, it's kind of conditional. Yeah.
It's our first one that can do this, right?
Yeah. So in that way, it can be quite useful. Just in principle, being the only one. Yeah. With that said, I guess that's all we have to say about this. So you can read out the comment survey, and then we'll move on to next.
Where were we?
That's a good question.
At Leonan real estate going up, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool art, pensive effect, sadly. Ironically, this goes perfectly in Yoritomo to deplete even more HP on allies and a way he can deal damage. cheap fan service ARs are nice and whatnot, but badass ARs are top tier.
I like
Also, hi. Don't care about this event, but I'll say because I like y'all.
Hello. I also think badass ARs are pretty cool, but I feel like this one's a bit too busy in the art. Like, and also, yet again, something is wrong with Snow's face in another AR. So, is it so hard to get like Snow's face right? I swear to God.
Yeah, I feel like there's too much on the screen on the CR as well.
You just know Melusine's not actually hitting anything, because no one with heavy weapon in media is allowed to hit anything.
And it's literally in the story too. It's like she's known for her multiple guns, but then she doesn't hit anything. It's kind of funny.
It's like the Star Wars meme.
Yeah, the stormtroopers can't hit anything despite having like hundreds of guns on their side.
Yeah, it's all for show.
Melusine secretly barrel.
Yes. Cancelled.
V Kengo.
He can't equip this, so no.
He could.
Well,
I guess
if
you
in
can use it on someone with V Kengo, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If you're Liananing in V Kengo or something like that, sure, go ahead.
They have like okay synergy.
Yeah, but then
just
you
a bit
can't move
redundant,
him.
yeah. It's
yeah,
an okay synergy, not the
but
best.
if you're using Lianan, then you lose on 600 HP, or actually 300 HP. That's
Amazing.
not worth it.
We have a tendency
concludes
to
the comments.
scrape. We have a tendency to scrape over like tiny beneficial effects like this. I swear to God. Yeah, let's just move on to the next AR. This will be this.
That's why all of our streams take so long.
Maybe we should reduce that part. All right, Sitri, Fenrir, you're up. Probably Zalgus, maybe, or is it no?
Yeah, what do you mean probably?
I don't have the order up.
Well, maybe you should. Let's address the elephant in the room first. Cool art. Alright. So, this AR has two components to it. It has a heal when you hit things to self, and on this, remove debuff to self and allies left and right. I'll talk about them in two parts first. So the heal is it's kind of shit. The rate is it's, I don't know if I would say it's completely shit, but the problem is that the base rate is really terrible. 30% base rate is not good for anything at all.
I feel like it's that low because there's an archetype that exists as blow and none units now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You can explain it, yeah.
Yeah, so now normally that would be even worse because of the weapon types blow and none, who can by definition only hit one or none units. But there are a few units in blow and none who can weapon change to something more useful. Those units are Alp 3, don't use it on him though, Christmas Benten, Echo Summer Shiva, who change to all, and Jiangxi Texuox, who changes to magic. So they can get a lot more procs out of it, you know, up to...
I'm surprised you didn't mention that Astarte as well.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, but they have to change to... Well, they have to, you know, CS first, so...
Yeah, but they get combo then, right? So they can hit twice as much.
Yes, I actually forgot about that. Partially because the wiki's still terribly broken, so it probably didn't show up.
I feel like you're the one who likes Astarte the most. I feel like you should have remembered that. What the heck?
Yeah, but I did forget about that. But yes, Astarte 4 can also use this, and would be a decent user of it, since they're kind of bruisery, you know, fairly defensive and whatnot. But anyway, so probably because this can go on someone who can hit so many units and heal for a decent amount. The base rate is terrible, but maybe you'll get a few heals out of it if you hit enough enemies. I would say, off the top of my head, Echo's probably the best use case for it, because she's designed to get hit. You have to, you know, she has to get hit to weapon change, and she already has some healing in her own kit, but she wouldn't mind, you know, healing more. And she weapon changes to all, so she can hit everything. So that half of the effect is, if the base rate wasn't so terrible, I think it would be better. But as it stands, it's okay, I guess.
This is kind of like
units I listed.
Yeah, this is kind of like a two-parter AR, or like a mutually exclusive effect kind of AR, because if they're good for the first effect, they'll be shit for the second, and vice versa. So
I actually wrote that they're mutually exclusive, but I mean, those guys can still make use of the first part, but I don't know if you should do that, because they're not really designed to miss repeatedly. Anyway, so the second component, remove debuff to self and allies left and right. The base rate is okay, 50% isn't terrible, and it scales up nicely to 100%, so that's always good. Dupes will serve that well. There are plenty of blow units and none units who are designed around missing. And removing debuff to self and allies is actually pretty rare. Most of the time it's only self or allies. There are only a few units in the game who can remove debuffs from both, like Tante 3 and Jamboree Eisen. There are a few units who can do like more than that, but
And you gotta remember
face start and stuff.
And you gotta remember that in context, the remove debuff is a lot more powerful for AR effects than it is for unit kits, because they'll still apply even when they're binded or skill locked or stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say the spread is a bit awkward to use, because there are lots of non-units and blow units who want people to be sitting in front of them instead, which, you know, won't work for this spread. So say like someone like Leonan, of course, or Daikoku, they want people to be sitting in front of them, and they won't be able to make use of that very well. But still, there are some units who want to miss, but give, say, adjacent buffs, or maybe they don't care about who's in front of them or who's around them, so they can just miss with impunity. So, for example, Tindalos 3 and 5 grant Berserk Plus to adjacent allies, and Ardor on 5. So he doesn't mind sitting in the back, or you can have him sit on the front and miss, because he has evasion, so he can sit on the front lines and miss and support the front line too. And then there are for some blow units, there's Ibisu and Miniaki's variants from the recent events, who both spit out a bunch of status effects and some buffs on missing to adjacent. So Ibisu gives reflect debuff, so he can actually double up on defense debuffs, or yes, debuff defense, or the wrong way around. So that could be good too. There's probably other units, but that's all I wrote for now, because I think you get the idea. So I would say that this AR is actually not that bad. The first effect is kind of weak source. I guess if you got multiple copies of it, it would actually be pretty good. 500 heals at 60% on all range could be pretty good. But the on miss effect is definitely pretty good. Remove debuff in an AoE is to self and allies is definitely rare, and there are plenty of units who can make use of it. So if you got this one, good for you, because it's pretty good.
Good.
Well, why don't you go first?
Go, Ara. I believe in you.
You always go first.
I was going to say it'd be a very memey AR to use with Christmas Pollux, but no one uses Christmas Pollux.
I couldn't be bothered to look up his kit because the wiki was broken, and I was so tired of going to the web archive that at the end of writing this, I was just like, I can't be bothered to look.
Wait, does Christmas Pollux remove debuffs? I forgot.
He has nullified debuff.
No, he actually does remove debuff in his Evo.
And his...
I remember he received an Evo, but I only remember the paralysis part. I don't remember him getting upgraded.
He does remove debuffs.
That's crazy. Okay, that would be decent for him then. Honestly, the only person I was thinking of immediately when I saw this was Housamo, since he also removes debuffs while also giving nullify debuff. But for the same reason, Pollux would work too. So, thank you for remembering that note, since like Pollux, his existence keeps on slipping my mind.
I'm a Christmas Pollux user, even though I use him about like
rare.
3 months. But yeah.
Well, I'm sure a lot of us have thought about using him, and then we're like probably forgot he existed right after. It's okay though.
I never remember what he does besides like evasion spam if he misses or something.
I remember watching Milk's video of Christmas Pollux and seeing him remove debuffs, but then I was just like checking his page on the web archive, and oh, he doesn't have the skill evolution on the web archive. Oh well.
Neither does Sol. Fucking
Just
annoying.
look at her streams, jeez.
It takes forever to go through those.
Yeah. If only we had a wiki for our wiki.
Okay, just
Honestly, yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I feel like the wiki breaks whenever the skill bundle template gets updated. Then it got fixed the last time it got updated, so I don't know what's going on there.
I'm really glad I decided to fetch the assets for this, all the new units and ARs right away, because they were pretty much like immediately working when they first came out, and then they broke slowly afterwards and became.
Wiki seemed like it was working, like when the event started, and I looked back later,
And like more than half their skills are gone. It's like amazing.
Well, the template had to be updated because of like the new effect, I think, with like the HP stuff, or at least I saw something.
I mean, I was there when it happened, and it was still working then, but then something broke after, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, this is just wiki discussion for those watching. It's just the wiki's been broken, and sometimes it's hard for me to get these assets as a result.
I'm sure they know. Like, I'm sure the people here also use the wiki.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. But anyways,
Wow.
you're free to read the comments now.
Oh, I had some thoughts about it.
Oh, sorry. I go ahead, Milk.
Yeah. I kind of don't like this AR. The first reason is that Fenrir's face isn't the icon, but it's Sitri's.
That's never how it
second
works,
reason
right? Like the fucking Morigao AR, right?
Yeah, like,
and
what's
it's like
the
showing
point?
like in the background, far away, or like Orgis' face, less resolution. Okay, sure.
The second reason is that, honestly, I feel like the Kagu Iku like combo AR is almost always preferable to like blow units. So I'm just kind of like meh on this one. Like if you think about like Onsen Miniaki and like I don't know Halloween Abisu, I feel like they benefit more from just having combo than like this like 50% remove debuff. So honestly, Christmas Pollux, who already has combo, might like. This might actually be really good for him because he doesn't necessarily need the combo AR. But yeah, that's all my thoughts. I think it's just an okay AR.
Well, it has its uses. I understand your belief that the combo AR is quite powerful, but like you gotta remember, again, the remove debuff part, it really is a lot more powerful on ARs than it is on units. And also, this seems to be catered towards not all blow or non-units, but those of a specific archetype of either they can switch to all range or they already have some sort of paradigm of being able to remove debuffs. Yeah.
Honestly, it's an AR that I would never consider bringing for any challenge.
Well, fair enough.
I mean, we do have more reliable methods of remove debuff, but still, I might. Well, if I had it, I might use it, but I don't.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's all our thoughts on this, I guess. Thanks for the last remarks, Milk. You're free to read out the comments now.
Where were we? The Kango. I like the AR. Was that this one or the previous one?
I think it was still the previous one.
I can apply to this one. I'm sure to the cupcakes one. This is only 5-star because of the art. Almost all non-range and blow range units will work like non-range and blow units who work like non-units will love this AR effect. Fenrir gets more healing. And for the rest, ignores the art. Right, I didn't actually bother mentioning Fenrir and Sitri because they both kind of suck with this. First of all, well...
Do you remember what they do?
Vaguely. Base Sitri is... or a vanilla Sitri is...
Forget vanilla Sitri, probably just think about
useless.
Christmas Sitri.
Well, I don't remember what he does, but I'm pretty sure he's shot range, so he can't...
He's thrust range, and he spreads buffs. And that's
thrust. Yeah, I remember the spread debuff. Well, he can't really miss reliably anyway with thrust range. I mean, I guess you kind of can, but...
He actually has combo on CS, so he kind of can, and his CS is blow range. So he has like this weird, like, sort of like missing and hitting enemies sort of thing. Yeah.
I guess he could do that. Vanilla Fenrir has terrible range, and he would probably
just don't use vanilla Fenrir. He hasn't even received Neo. Forget about vanilla Fenrir.
I thought he did, but it wasn't.
No.
It was like
it was just like the generic one when they were still doing. It was like Gen 1 Evo stuff.
Yeah. And ban Fenrir, I mean, I guess he would appreciate the healer because he's sort of supposed to be a frontline tank, but he sucks, so it's not relevant on him either because he's not relevant.
I mean, it's... Yeah, I agree, but also at least he can easily switch between both modes because long slash seems to be the perfect weapon type to be able to hit as well as best on demand.
Long slash is never perfect.
Hey, don't discount long slash. I actually like that weapon type despite what others say about it.
I just kind of wish it hit harder, and also that Ben Fenrir didn't suck ass, but he does. Yeah, Thirstful is sliding this on Tinderless. Yeah, he wouldn't mind it, although, if I'm honest, I think he would just prefer the damage, to be honest, just so that, because, you know, he's designed to nuke, but if you wanted to play him a bit more supportive, he could definitely make use of this, especially on the front line. I actually managed to get this AR rather painlessly. Was hoping this AR would be better, but usable is good enough, I guess. I'm so numb to everything this event. Why so numb?
Oh my god, same. This event does not exist.
Seriously, guys.
I mean, I don't mind it, but I'm not super interested. I guess if you really want to use this, you could use this on Christmas Pollux, since he makes use of both on hit and on miss. Yeah, well, beat Erbie to it. Yeah, I was considering looking him up, and then I couldn't be bothered, so... but good on everyone else to catch it. Milk and I are filthy Xmas Pollux users. I like the Fenrir part of this art. Yeah, it's pretty good. I remember him mainly because back then he was considered one of the usable blow units when people complained about short range units. Yes, most blow units back then were pretty ass. They were either... I mean, pretty much at the time they could only...
Yeah, they're considered joke units, but it's because they didn't have on miss effects, or, you know, kits designed to miss at the time, right?
We still have regular Pollux in the game, so...
He really needs an Evo. What the heck is that? What is the purpose of it being able to, like, bestow guts to self-invasion to self, maybe? And then that's, like, pretty much it.
I think Wakan 5 was, like, one of the only usable blow units back then because he hit really hard and had vertical movement and had...
Don't be fooled. Just because everyone had him on their wood support doesn't mean he was actually a good blow. You know, at the time, it just means that it was either him or Tanngrisnir, and then, well, Tanngrisnir was Tanngrisnir.
Who?
Tanngrisnir.
He was blow.
In wood slide, yeah.
Right. No, just use MC for what, buff removal? I guess you could do that. Or debuff removal. Sitri stands for attack and not in a good way. I'm sure you guys are enjoying both of these ARs. What's the story on this AR? Because it's looking kind of sus. Something about...
What is Sitri being, like, screwed over in both of these ARs?
It's fine. Something about...
I'm 12 and what is this?
Purification in the sauna from... in Tomte's sauna or something. I didn't read Mystic Christmas, so...
Yeah, they usually slap that thing on people. On those saunas. It's an actual thing.
Imagine it's a massage. There you go. Xmas Sitri is thrust and he gives allies buffs. Us Sitri and Fenrir friends. Yes, I actually was having a discussion about this because I couldn't quite remember, but Sitri kind of, I think, hero worships Fenrir because Fenrir is quote-unquote cool. So, I mean, the description of this AR also says something about how Fenrir has something of a kinship with Sitri or something because of how Sitri feels. I don't remember. You can probably just read or Google Translate the description of this AR, but
if you know they
did meet, I believe.
If you know the Chunryo, like I forget how it's pronounced, but it's like yeah, that one. That trope of 8th grade syndrome. Oftentimes that trope is actually paired up with someone who legit thinks it's cool from someone else, and Sitri would be that. But
he is cool.
Sure.
I really want Ban Fenrir to get skill Evo. Well, unfortunately, you will be unhappy to know that he already did get skill Evo, and it was shit.
It's okay.
No, it wasn't.
It's okay.
Sitri looks up to Fenrir as a cool senpai. Yes, he's so close to being something. Who? Ban Fenrir? I don't really feel it. Pollux has a regular version.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't.
Pollux is just his variant. There is no regular version of him.
man, Fenrir has 2 skill evos and yet he ain't great. Lamau, yeah, that's the worst part. But I'm pretty sure it was a unique skill evo too, and it was
okay.
middling at best.
That's okay.
No, that's the end of the comments, I'm afraid. No.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say something about the description real quick. Yeah, Fenrir is sympathetic to Sitri because his sacred artifact went out of control, so they're kind of like similar-ish due to that.
Yeah, interesting. So it's like a kind of a mutual respect then. Well, not
Fenrir didn't tell him that. I think it says that Fenrir keeps that to himself.
I see.
It's like a sympathy sort of thing.
Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting lore, but this is not interesting, so we'll just move on to the next AR, which is going to be covered by Milk, most likely.
Yes.
Speaking of Pollux, who doesn't exist, we're going to be talking about Pollux. Go ahead. By the way, I am going to disappear for a few seconds, and I'll be right back. So go ahead and with the discussion. I'll be back.
Ara's gone. Let's go. Party.
Talk about Sitri creep shots and the AR. No. So the Berserker's Christmas AR, I think is actually a really, really good AR. It gives crit plus when attacking if your unit has less than 50% HP at a pretty high rate of 80 to 100% rate. And you also deal 2 times damage to enemies with Blessing. So I have a list of people who are actually quite good with it. I think the most obvious person who's really good with this AR is Sandayu, because he has guts to himself, so he's gonna be at 1 HP almost all the time. There's actually quite a lot of people who want to have low HP. Jiangxi Tetsuox again, he's gonna have like very little HP. Kengo, not Valentine Kengo, but like his other forms kind of are in like that low HP area as well. Tvashstar, but nobody uses him. Summer Jugo is also somebody who can get to very little HP, and the crit plus stacks with this crit plus plus. Guts units in general, like Pollux, if you ever decide to use him, this is like a skill evolution. Makan, like 5-star regular. Virtual Summer Memory, Hombre Tigre, Heracles, you can use it. They can all use this. And there's people who give blessing to enemies, and the most infamous example of this, I would say, is Christmas Choji. So you can actually deal 2 times damage to enemies with blessing.
Oh my god, Christmas Choji meta, I can't believe it.
I'm saying it. Christmas Choji is super meta, and like this AR is actually really, really funny on him because his CS is like will be like very strong, and if he is in that low HP range, he's just gonna deal like more stupid amounts of damage, and the crit plus would give him like 10 more CP. So yeah, interesting. The other blessing people are Babylon 5. Unfortunately, she doesn't benefit from the crit plus outside of the at phase start, but she can get it on later turns if her HP is low. And Christmas Sitri. Christmas Sitri is kind of weird though, because his HP is usually very high due to having like Ill Wisher and like Curse to enemies. So I'm kind of like okay on it with this, but he'll get the 2 times damage to Blessing. So yeah, pretty cool. Very, very, very strong AR if you're a Mega Whale, because you'll get 5, like the 5x multiplier at 100% rate with the low HP.
I wish that was me.
Just whale.
Yeah.
And just spend your life savings.
Hype kind of like quit.
Wait, what? Real? Well, I don't even have him added, so it doesn't matter, but...
He kind of like quit, but then he like came back to like roll on this banner anyway, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, continue funding this game so that I don't have to.
This AR is like definitely really good if you're like a mega whale.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I actually managed to get this a copy of this pretty easily, but
You actually got
just yeah, I have one copy of it on one of my accounts. It's pretty nice, like a 2.5x multiplier on semi-demand. It's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
I like at 80%. It's actually pretty ridiculous.
It's definitely not good for like farming, because like you usually are like very high HP, but like you can definitely force yourself to be like at less than 50% HP. It's easily attainable.
Now that I'm back, can you quickly summarize what units you recommended? I heard Christmas Shoji and that was it.
Okay.
Oh, you had the best
So
part.
I have
Yes.
Sanryu, Jiangxi Tetsuoks, Regular Kengo, Summer Jugo, a bunch of like the Guts user units like Tavastar, Makan 5.
Okay, there was a lot. God damn.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
prepared
there's
the
quite a
entire
bit,
entry.
actually.
I only had like one unit. I was like, Festival Reorted. Let's go, I'm original. And then you have to
Say
toast.
that.
Oh well.
But yeah, I think probably the best person, like completely the best person, is Sanryu. Like he just gets crit plus for free.
Sandayu? Does
Yeah.
he have like HP reduction to self or something?
Well, he's like a Guts evasion user, right?
Yeah, he is.
He's like living at 1 HP all the time.
That's true, I guess. You'll have to be able to reach that HP first, but I see what you mean. Yeah, and Choji was actually a good pick because I didn't realize he existed. Alright, sorry, I'm caught up now. You can go ahead with what else you're saying. Unless you're done with your thoughts.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Oh, glad I missed this start thing.
Well, I mean, this thing is pretty general, honestly, that you could pretty much use on anyone and they'll probably benefit from it. Anyone within those parameters.
Any damage dealer seems good, and anyone that can bestow blessing, yeah, there's plenty.
Barely anyone has crit plus anyway, so you know, that most people will be able to stack it.
Yeah, I can see it. Alright, if that's it, then I guess we'll just move on to the next AR. Wait, first we need to read out the comments. Yeah, go ahead and do that, Milk.
New card, Spanking, Bathym and his ginger bestie Yas. Yoritomo approves this AR. Yeah, I guess so. It kind of takes a while, but sure, it's fine. Kengo Yasified. I can't imagine that. Kengo. Okay, I can't imagine that now. Oh damn, that's a good AR. I might go back and roll for it. Yeah, I tried rolling for it, but I just got like 6 Abisu ARs, so that was fun. Valentino, I guess. I don't think he has crit plus already.
He heals though. He's gonna have a hard time to reach
yeah.
50 HP.
He's pretty tanky, so
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really have a method of getting low very easily because he heals and gives tenacity and whatnot. He does have guts, and he has limits, so he wouldn't mind being low HP, but it's kind of hard to get him there. But he
Yeah.
would work okay with it, I guess.
Was his guts on like phase star and his guts to allies like when attacking?
Yes, that's correct. He does not refresh his own guts.
Yeah. I mean, like, sure. If you are still using Valentino, which is like fine. I'm just very surprised that somebody remembered him after all this time to use him.
Exactly.
I remember him.
I remember the days when
it's
he
okay,
was
Zalgus.
meta for a very short period of time in dungeons.
People used Valentino in dungeons.
This was before the level 80
yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Honestly, I welcome the Valentino comeback because it's like so funny to bring out like a unit that's like nobody remembers after a year. Yeah.
Rip to everyone who decided to see them.
I mean, it would be good seeing him if you want to have like that really nice looking support list. 'Cause-
I feel like that's 50% of the reason why people see them. Oh, he's the only buff unit. Therefore, I need to complete my collection of like associated things.
Is that really why you think people see people?
Well, honestly, the
Honestly,
other
from
50%
what-
because there's like a huge like Hakenshi fever among people.
Honestly, from what I read in the Discord server, I definitely believe it. Most people just want Valentino to get a 5-star all-round support.
Yeah, didn't like Hidden
least
actually
I see
partially
comments
seed
like
his
that.
Shino too? Like, and she
I
has
don't know.
not.
I never noticed.
Yeah, and Hiden's not even exactly like a Hakenshi stand either.
You're all charlatans.
There, Zalgus.
Choji meta real plus question mark. Blah 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 blah. Pollux looks weird, but Bathym looks good.
Pollux looks like he's being sucked into a black hole in the corner or something.
I mean, it's men's case, just like whatever.
Yeah.
I see who got more love between the two. I don't know. I think he came back. LW slid him. The hidden Jiraiya 5 variant. What is this referring to?
Jiraiya got double 4-star variant.
You know, now that I think about it,
he's talking about hype coming back. But yeah.
Now that I think about it, this is actually probably some of the best art we've had of Bathym in a while. He's like, you know, and all his like art, he's always like at an angle where he's showing his ass and behind him. But this is like the first decent front angle we have of him ever, and I welcome it.
I mean,
That's a nice chest up he has.
The Sitri art too.
His
face.
Yeah, I mean, his face was like also upside down half the time, like with his 4-star or whatever, or looking from behind, or like he's doing some sort of like weird eagle spread in with the Ikutoshi one, the evasion penetration one. So this is the first decent one with him just doing normal pose in front. I like it.
I'm gonna comment on this hidden Jiraiya 5 variant.
Sure.
Is that this is actually kind of true if you believe in the theory that the CS multiplier means the rarity, because Jiraiya actually has a 4x multiplier and Benten has a 3x multiplier.
Wait, what? Seriously? I didn't notice that. Damn.
Yeah.
I forgot to check those.
I mean, they haven't done any difference in the CS multipliers in a while, so I just forgot it was a thing.
So yeah, Jiraiya might actually have been like the scrapped 5-star variant. So yeah.
Damn.
Oh, I just realized it's 5-star. Yeah, forgot that lol. Yeah, forget that lol. Yeah, that's a good idea. This event stole enough from me already. Yeah. God, when is Bathym gonna get another variant? I hope never, just because I don't really like care about Bathym at all.
Ouch.
I mean, Bathym's existence is just his butt.
Well,
I mean, it's just like he's just like a whatever kind of.
This AR shows
he's
he's
more
nice.
kind of interesting though.
Yeah, I mean, he could be interesting. It's just he's been relegated to suffer what most Gen 1 Berserkers suffer in terms of relevance.
Everyone could be interesting, so I don't know if that means anything.
Exactly.
I mean, like,
when people say, "Oh, this character has so much potential to be interesting,"
I mean, he like
everyone
talks
does.
I would never say that about Pollux. Okay, Pollux had his chance in Christmas, and then he completely blew it. I don't know but he was just like talking about his brother half the time, and then he was irrelevant at the end.
I mean, I guess like Bathym has like he like talks to Mephistopheles and stuff in main quest, so whatever.
And despite how little relevance he gets up front, like there's a lot of people interacting with him. Like he already has that Sitri AR. He has some relations with him, as we saw, and he also has that thing going on with Lucifuge. I don't know. He seems to be a very social person. We just don't get to see it very often.
That's just because he's part of the Order of Demons.
Well, yeah, it's cool. You know, it's like their thing, just like the Hakenshis have their own thing and stuff like that, right?
Then maybe we need more Olympians.
We need to get Sitri dad to answer why he is paying Bathym for creep shots of Sitri. Yeah. Also, can we talk about the fashion disaster that is Bathym's outfit? It has that two-face energy. Is it that like that winter outfit? Yeah, it's the same like winter outfit that he had.
Honestly, it looks decent in this angle, but maybe that's just because I'm just still in shock of seeing him from the front.
I remember him because he always seemed pretty decent, though I hadn't used him in a while. In gameplay, not really. He's like very low end, but in like character personality wise, yeah, he's a pretty decent person. Yeah, not a fan of Asswolf, but he looks really cute here. Cool. So weird to see Bathym right side up. The rare assless Bathym art. Tough but fair. Pollux's most interesting moment will be if/when we get Castor.
Honestly, I would have to agree with that. Anyway,
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Let's pick up the pace since we're already 50 minutes in and we still haven't talked about any of the units. So last AR of the batch, we'll be talking about the freebie AR. This will be covered by Erbie, I believe.
Should it be
yes.
you? Oh.
No, it's me. Don't worry, I don't have a lot to say about this AR. Essentially, this AR has 2 unmoving effects.
All right. You there, Erbie?
The first one being, sorry, the first one being that he applies break resistance to allies left and right, and the second one he gives 4 CP to allies left and right as well. And that is essentially all it does. Honestly, it's a good AR for, well, I wouldn't say good AR, but you know what I mean.
What do you mean?
It's shit.
It's shit.
It's a good hair. What do you mean? It's shit. Yeah, I do know what you mean.
No, but basically, it's a good AR if you're using units like units that like to move a lot and do provide support, general support to allies, and a unit that it's totally not a biased choice for this is Fashionista Zabania, in my opinion, because he also provides a lot of CP when he moves, and the break resistance would be a helpful asset. At first, I thought recommending him because I actually thought that the break resistance applied to self, so it would be really nice because he's already immune to oppression, so being immune to break would be a great asset, but no.
Alas,
it is not meant to be. But yeah, that's all my thought.
Spread it to Insomnia or Tanjiro. Will that work?
It's always going to go back to that, isn't it?
I guess
I could have said Sitri as well.
Tan is actually kind of okay with this since he already has like innately break resistance, but yeah, I think it's kind of just a shitty AR.
Why isn't it to self?
Break resistance is very specific.
honestly,
yeah.
I think out of all movement stopping effects, I think break was the most important one that we needed.
Does
You
it?
have, like,
It doesn't even last that
dying.
long. It's like only 2 turns, right?
Yeah, but it's a defense debuff and then you can't move.
Yeah, and also it is more used in challenge quests than the others.
I mean, I thought fear and paralysis were used fairly often. Do we have a paralysis or fear resistance area?
Yeah, Thor's.
Yeah, they're
And-
like
Yeah, and fear, we have many of them. We
No,
have 2 of them.
I don't mean like resistance as an effect, but I mean like the actual status fear resistance or
no, we don't
paralysis
have
resistance.
resistance. Yeah, we don't have like
Okay.
those. We don't have a status for it.
That we pretty
Because I
much
feel
just
that'd be
have
useful, a lot more useful.
us, and that's it.
Alright, well this is the first step towards getting ARs for those 2, or rather status resistances for those. But yeah, the CP is a decent effect, I'd say, because if you remember other 3-star ARs that bestowed CP, it's like 5 CP on face start only, or like the fucking Insomnia one, which only gives like, what, 3 CP on miss at a 60% rate or some shit like that. This one's already at high rate, and you're gonna max it because it's fairly easy to max. It's one of those free ARs. Unfortunately, it is tied to a pretty pricey conditioner being moved, but 4 CP is pretty decent to have it, potentially every turn for you. So yeah, I would agree with the choices presented, right? As well as like Tanngrisnir, who already gives CP when he moves, I believe.
I guess the idea is that he's already resistant to breaks, so he doesn't need to give it to himself.
Well, he doesn't need to give it to himself, but it doesn't give it to himself anyways, so...
I mean, that's what I meant, is that it doesn't give it to self because he doesn't need it.
Yeah. Could be good for other units, but I don't remember off the top of my head who is also an Eastern Valiant, so just go with Zabania or Tanngrisnir, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
So I think the more exciting thing about this AR is that it's the return of Gullinbursti's artist Waku, who hasn't like drawn anything for like, I don't know, 2 years now. So yeah, he's back.
I do like the art color palette in this, the yellow and blue background, and it's a nice composition in general.
Yeah, it's nice.
For some reason, I feel like it's a coin flip whenever it comes to AR. Like with the Pollux one, his face looks like it's been distorted somewhat. But this one, they just look fine, you know? Anyway, with all that said, I guess no one has any extra thoughts. So, Erbie, read the comments and then we will finally move into the units. Erbie, you there? Erbie, you there?
I am trying to search for the thing.
What thing?
The where we left off.
Oh, the last comment?
You're at Wakuar. Wakuar.
Yeah, Wakuar.
Where the fuck is that?
Evendos.
Oh, okay. The art is nice. Well, IG it works on Kamui OG 5-star to give him some CP battery on top of his bonkers healing. I guess you could do that. Oh hey, it's the new buff I saw. Also hi, Kengo clone. Why would you use this on Kengo? Well, I mean, I guess you could.
He doesn't really need to move, does he? Well, I guess his
yeah, he does.
Sorry, yeah.
5-star form actually has Omni movement, but
yeah, that's true. I guess
for non-Kengo.
There's decent, okay usage with them. No, again, this is just 3-star area. You're not gonna get amazing usage either way.
Let me see Tanngrisnir's bod. Putting that AR on Suzuka will be a bit confusing, so I'll give it to someone else. It's okay. I won't have time to rewatch the stream video because I'm doing something else.
Cry. It's fine. You can watch it some other year, whenever you're free. Perhaps next year, which is coming up quite soon. But anyway, let's move on to the units now. Thank you for covering that, Erbie. We will be talking about the first unit, which will be covered by Zalgus. This is Nomad.
Oh boy, Nomad. I actually have a decent amount to say about him, but I was surprised that you guys were saying that he was.
I wasn't saying that he was. I was just saying there was. Like, I've played with him and he seems kind of straightforward to play.
Nice MS Paint arrow.
Well, you know, I fetched the asset before it was properly translated, so I needed to point at it, right?
It is actually luckily translated on the archive right now, I believe. But anyway, so Nomad, he's one of the 5 stars on banner, and does that say 3x multiplier? My thing's a bit small.
Yeah, it is.
Ah, that's weird. Does didn't you say Benten also had a 3x multiplier?
Yeah, it seems like both 5 stars only have 3 times multiplier. That's whack.
What does Ose have?
You're
Well,
betting
we'll see that. We'll see that.
No,
Honestly,
it's all 3 except for Jiraiya.
Okay, God, if Ose had the 4 times multiplier, Jesus.
Not that. Why would they ever put that at 5-star?
Anyway, right, so I'll talk about the less interesting stuff first. So Nomad gives himself concentration and glint on phase start. So concentration is nice at 100% rate, so no skill seed bait there. 100% rate buff is always nice. Attack and proc rate buff is always nice. The glint is unfortunately skill seed bait at 90%, and it will not benefit from concentration because they calculate at the same time. So it actually is 90%.
In other words, skill seed bait.
Yes, skill seed bait. He also gives blessing to his allies around self, which is okay, I guess. He helps mitigate one of his other skills that I'll talk about later. Curse resistance to self and allies once go around 100%. That's nice. Curse is a pretty common debuff, and it's annoying as hell because it's a long-lasting, strong damage down debuff. So that's nice. He's also immune to Dazzle and Doubt. Dazzle is also fairly common, so he's immune to both of the most common damage down stats effects, so that's great. Doubt is pretty uncommon, but you probably don't want to have it when it is relevant, so just take it because it's there. And also movement expansion when he appears. Nomad does have to move for some of the stuff in his kit, so it's nice that you can move him without having to compromise positioning since he has expanded movement, except in large maps, but we don't talk about those. Right, so the more interesting parts of his kit. So there is a new proc condition that they have been playing around with for this banner, which is at the end of the movement phase. Well, there's another one, but we know about that one for people who it's actually relevant for. So when the movement phase ends, whether Nomad moved or not, he will proc hit some of his abilities. He has concentration to the left and right at 70%, so skill seed bait, because even if he has both concentration and glint, that's 90%. Annoying. And remove buff to enemies in shot range. He will proc those, or attempt to proc both of those when the movement phase ends, so he doesn't have to do anything. So that's nice. That it's pretty easy to use. I think that's actually how they described it on the website, that it's an easy to use thing.
Which is the opposite how they described the other one with Benten. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, so he can give concentration and do remove buff. He can also fish for these twice if he moves as well. So he will try and give concentration to the left and right twice, and he'll try and remove 2 buffs in a shot range. The remove buff is at a 50% rate, which is not that great, but it's augmented by his own proc rate up to about 70%, give or take his glint. And it's nice that we have someone who can double remove buffs, because we don't get that too often on demand. There are a few units who can do it, like say Aegir, but I think he can only do it for like 1 turn or 2 turns with his Evo, or Kimun Kamui, but he has to CS to do it. So
Taramighty.
Yeah, Taramighty, she's one of the units who can actually do it on demand. But the rest of it kind of sucks. Well,
there is Nightmare Kuniyoshi.
It's really hard looking up all this stuff right now, unfortunately. Or I might have actually called that. I wish the wiki wasn't broken. Yeah, so he can double remove debuffs or buffs, so that's definitely nice to have at a decent rate of 70%-ish. He'll at least get one of those, or you could just not move him and just try and have him as a buff removal bot. Now, the other parts of his kit do not have double procs. When you move him, I'll say the less interesting one first. He gives evasion to self and allies left and right, and he also minuses 1000 HP to all of those units. That's at a rate of 50%. So a 70% rate for an AoE evasion is actually pretty good, because it's spammable. Most of the time when we have AoE evasion, it's
first few turns.
Yeah, limited by the first few turns. So say like Valentine's Gunzo or Shenong, who can only do it for turns 1 and 2, or just 1 for Shenong. So Nomad being able to spam it at a respectable rate, not for himself and other allies, is pretty good. Left and right means he can do it on the front lines, I guess. I would have preferred if it was adjacent, but that's probably a bit too broken.
Well, it's still just the first 2 turns for concentration and glint.
Yeah, but so it will drop down to 50% rate, which is not the worst. But yes, note that Nomad cannot refresh his own concentration because it's only to allies. So after the first 2 turns, he will lose 20% to proc rate and never regain it unless someone else gives it to him. Well, besides other phases. So yeah, I think that evasion's pretty good. Even when the proc rate drops off, it's nice to have. And his other thing is that he applies, when he moves, he applies limit to self, left and right, and also defense penetration. Defense penetration allows anyone who has it to basically negate all the defensive buffs in the game, except evasion. He doesn't penetrate evasion, which is unique to him, actually. There are a few other units who can penetrate defense. Tajika R5 and Eta 4 with theirs. Wait, was it Eta 4 or 5?
It's Eta 5 can penetrate all defense buffs. Yeah.
25.
Yes.
Eta
Taji and Eta 5.
Eta 4 can remove all buffs from the unit that he hits behind him or something like that.
Yeah.
And Soul.
Yes, I was going to mention that, actually. So Taji 5 and Eta 5 both have advantage against all defensive debuffs, including evasion. And Soul is a bit different. He just removes the buffs instead, which is, I guess that works too. And he himself has an advantage against evasion, but Nomad is the only one who can give this sort of buff to to allies and himself. So that's pretty nice. I mean, obviously negating defensive buffs is always good no matter what, so there's no reason not to have it. And the limit is nice too, it synergizes with his minus HP. And assuming it procs, he'll also be proccing evasion at the same time, so those work together well. And that's at a 90% rate, so it's kind of skill seed bait, but at the same time not really, because he has concentration, which is 100%, so in theory it's 100% rate most of the time. Yeah, what?
You know, I didn't realize I only noticed Benten's description of the news, her new activation effect of it being hard. I didn't realize they described this one as being easy. But I think...
said something about it being easy to use.
But I think that kind of nails my problem with this unit. It's not really even a problem, it's just that when I play with him, I don't really know how to play with him. I kind of just... he's there and he does stuff and he's good, but it's like I can't really play him well because he already plays well without me doing anything, so I'm just like, okay.
Not every game needs to be
didn't you not move
just
him,
like that.
Didn't you not move Nomad for most of the stream when you did it the first time?
I kept on moving him, and I'm still moving him even though I don't need to move him. It's just I forgot what he did. He just I was vaguely he gave concentration when he had it himself, and then he does that, and I was like, okay, sure. It's it doesn't matter if I forget half his kit because he's gonna be doing it anyways, right? It's just...
Is that really a problem?
Oh, okay.
It's not really a problem per se. It just means that he doesn't feel like someone that you can play with better if you understand how you can play with him. Because it's I didn't understand how to play with him at all, and I was just moving him, and he was doing fine, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, not everybody needs to be big brain now. But yeah, so Nomad deals about 10.8k damage with limit and concentration while he's at 100% HP, so that's a decent amount of damage, I would say, for someone who can have that on-demand turn 1. For ARs, I would say... But I didn't mention his CS, but I have nothing to say about that because he has no way of buffing his own CP. It's okay, I guess.
Not to mention it's even weaker than normal.
Yeah, it's weaker than normal, which I didn't realize. He applies Glint to himself and allies, which is nice, I guess. He can stack that with his concentration to allies and give himself back one of his things, and it's another damage buff for him to use, I guess. CS lock is whatever. It's rarely relevant. So I don't really care about his CS. ARs, I would say shooting stars so that he can have the evasion that he's missing. And it's always nice. And the Pollux Bathym one from this stream is good on him since he is reducing his HP constantly, and he does have evasion to kind of stick around for a while. Although his HP is a bit low for that. It's probably fine. He'll definitely appreciate the extra damage. I have a feeling we're going to say the Pollux Bathym AR is useful a lot, just because it's usable on everyone, or most people.
I mean, you guys are, but I'm just I don't know.
Don't worry, I'll hit.
Okay, thank
he
you.
decreases his HP, so yeah.
But yeah, he'll be at low HP pretty often if you're moving him, which you probably should be.
I shall talk about it when we have a unit that puts everyone at 1 HP on face start. When will that happen?
Smoky God. Oh no, it's face start. Right, so overall I'd say Nomad's he's a consistent damage dealer just because he's resistant to so many damage debuffs, well, mainly Dazzle and Curse, so the most common ones. And he negates pretty much all defensive debuffs, and he removes a bunch of buffs, possibly up to 2 debuffs, so he probably won't have much stopping his damage most of the time. And he provides pretty decent support, both offensively and defensively, via evasion and limit and concentration, so that's always nice too. So he's actually pretty good. He's kind of a good general purpose unit, honestly. You can pretty much slap him into most comps and he'll work. because he just gives a bit of everything.
He just functions so well that I don't even know how to use him in the end.
Just use him.
Uh,
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the Tetsuwakan AR can be used if you want to charge his CS, because he actually does get a lot of buffs to himself, right? Concentration glint, curse resistance, movement expansion, and then evasion.
Well, while that is true, it doesn't seem to be something super worth building towards. Maybe a bit of extra damage, but that's it. Doesn't have super amazing effects.
Well, none of his stuff is like when attacking, so basically like getting a CS.
Yeah, it won't interrupt it in the very least, yeah.
Yeah, so like if you have it, then like sure, Nomad can be like extra annoying in his voice lines. What else? I actually like this 50% evasion for self and allies because you can turn scum this like very easily. It's like actually a fair point because the Valen Gunzo like Shenong that you mentioned before were like turn limited to be like turn 1 and 2, right? That you said, and like Wakan,
yeah, Shenong's 1 and
5,
Wakan's or
and
thing
Gunzo's
is
like
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yeah, and regular Wakan like has it so that his evasion doesn't apply to himself. So technically, like if you could heal back this like minus 1000 HP that Nomad gives to everybody, this evasion you can just turn scum and just like defeat any quest that doesn't like check that.
I mean, turn scumming makes any quest easy with any unit. It's not just exclusive to Nomad.
Yeah, like Gandalva.
Please no Gandalf memes.
Just turn
Already
scum
not
with
too many.
Triton. There you go.
Well, actually, Triton doesn't get evasion to himself either, right? So maybe Nomad.
He doesn't, but
for
he
him.
can sometimes stay off of range.
You know who you can turn scum to get evasion for both units? Kotaro.
No thanks.
Alright. But yeah, my point stands. He's a good overall unit, but I just... Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of super brain that I'm kind of at a loss of when to use him or how to use him. You just use him.
I think he's just a random shot unit that was added. Okay.
I think it's kind
One-
of funny-ish. Oh,
Sorry, yeah, I'll just say it. One point I thought was neat is just, 2 damage buffs left and right means like he's just kind of like a better Tsukiyomi in terms of giving some crit equivalent. But yeah, he has to move for that, or he doesn't, which is like my brain's confused. But either way, you'll be fine if you move him or don't move him.
nobody cares about Tsukuyomi.
So
One
true.
of these days, my seeding of him will be worth it.
It will never be Ara, sorry. Tsukuyomi's era ended in 2020. I'm sorry to say this.
It's sad, but true.
I actually think a concentration and limit is a very fairly interesting like set of buffs to give to people. Maybe it's because of like we just had like Yugen Wakan. Like these 2 buffs are like things that he doesn't resist. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I think concentration buffing is just pretty good in general though.
Yeah, it's still fairly rare. I mean, relative to everything else anyways. It's a lot more common now, but, concentration limit, they're a good combo for your usual Vigor Ardor pair of things.
Here's something I keep forgetting. Will that advantage against defense buffs actually stack with someone who already has it?
No.
Sad.
Wait,
It shouldn't. I don't know what is their marker, because I've never seen it in the code, but they've already circumvented stacking of that kind of effect before. I don't know how, but it's been consistent ever since with every kind of evasion, defense penetration stacking effect.
Damn, so I can't have
No, you can't.
your later like absolutely destroy someone.
I mean, theoretically you can't. Maybe this is an oversight, but it's untested. They've been consistent with it so far, though.
Put your Eta on support Ara and I'll test it.
Oh my god. You have Nomad 5, that's right. God damn it, Erbie. Alright, you can read out the comments now, Zalgus. I guess that's it for this unit.
Oh,
Let's see, where were we? We were at pulling that AR on Suzuka will be a bit confusing. So right after that, This is the first new set of comments, I think.
Sorry, hang on for a moment.
I can't believe Zalgus died.
So what were we?
Law featuring by Kurama said, putting that AR in Suzuka will be a bit confusing. After that, there should be some new comments regarding Nomad.
Okay. I won't have the time to rewatch the stream because I'm on something else. Didn't you already read that one?
Something, I don't know.
Yeah, where you stopped at like the RBFs. Yeah.
HCP, no. Santa Nomad, there we go. Jesus' ability to draw a block of text. It's a block of text, but it's really not that complex.
It's not that difficult to read.
Yeah, it's not compared to, I don't know, I'm sure there's someone who's more complex. I mean, most of it is duplicates anyway, but...
His motives aren't complex enough for me, Zalgus. I'm sorry.
Mark, come get your man. Oh yeah, Mark likes Nomad. Maybe they thought Jiraiya may have been a bit too weak. That's such a weird thing to think of. Jiraiya's not even weak.
I'm pretty sure that they adjust the kits later, based on what we've seen. At least that is my own headcanon, is that no, the kits do not determine the rarity. They adjust the kits based on the choice of rarity later.
Move him to nearby units, buffing them both left on right. Yeah, like move Nomad in the middle. Yeah, he'll usually be in the middle column with two people flanking him. Wow, LifeWonders flopping on CSs now. Just give us a clown event already. About Nomad, he's pretty great, but the fact that he's an expanded movement after 2 turns is quite annoying, not gonna lie. Yeah, I think it's just so that you can safely move him on turn 1 without having to, mess up your formation or, have a crap formation for the first turn, since you can just have him ferry everyone around for that turn. But yeah, they do move an expansion for when appearing once a lot. He'd be so nutty in Aoyama Dungeon Hell if you weren't running Mentors. People still do that?
Yes! We covered this, jeez. Everyone does mentor. A lot of people still do mentor runs, jeez.
I made that joke last stream. Also, they did the same thing to Xmas Takamaru, where they didn't have automatic movement range, but have it as a buff only applicable for appearing outright when appearing movement expansion. Does Xmas Takamaru have that? I forget what he does.
Yeah, he does.
I'm a Christmas Takimaru user as well.
Based. He does more damage when you only move him evasion buff. It's like it saved your life. Yeah. Honestly, he's good just as your primary move slot. Play with Nomad who 50% raise. I only see 100 with Smoky God meta. Yes, we must say that at least once per stream.
Oh my god, you remember, it's only 1 turn long. Jeez.
It is worth it.
Cool.
I'm just use shadowing at that point. Jesus Christ. It's like only for the first turn of each phase, goddamn.
No, it's Smoky God, Ara. You need to be converted to this cult.
I'm not needed to use them even once yet.
Sukiyami for Year of the Rabbit because Moon Deity. Do we even have a rabbit in the game yet?
We have Alice's doll.
Alice's doll is the rabbit. There you go. That
Great.
is Alice skin.
I don't
Let's
know.
go.
Maybe they can get Chonga or something, even though she's not the rabbit, but she has a rabbit too.
We get Big Chungus next year.
God. No Western memes.
I mean, I'd wail for it.
Finally a detective. Oh yeah, he's finally a detective. Finally.
Yeah,
after all this time.
After 5 years. If you forgot how long that 5th anniversary happened, and it's been 5 years, and I'm pretty sure Nomad was a release unit. So, him being stuck in all these different odd jobs, and him saying, but I'm a detective, and now he finally has a detective skin. It's kind of funny.
Smoky God is real meta. See, everyone agrees.
I'm plugging
Everyone
my
knows
ears,
that
I am
Smoky
covering
God
my
is
eyes,
meta.
I am getting your addresses, and am going to personally see each of you cancelled.
Didn't you see that out video that Milk did?
Okay, that one was pretty
Yeah.
good. but other than that...
It's the Smoky God meta, I believe.
How
I
can
like
you not believe in like guaranteeing Summer Jiraiya's procs into all range out charm?
Didn't
The
that
true
require
meta.
some extremely intricate setup too, is to make sure he got combo and he had the right ARs and shit like that? Jesus Christ. And also, it wasn't even guaranteed, even with Smoky God.
I think-
Yeah, it wasn't because it's like they're
Yeah, see? What am I telling you? You guys are such degenerates.
I think it is now though, because there's the Kushi late AR.
Yeah, the AR exists now.
Honestly, I like Smoky God because it makes my testing easier. Because it means I can guarantee proc rates early on.
Except for phase start abilities, Jesus Christ.
I don't care
Who
about those.
cares about face start abilities?
Those are
no
some
one
of the
cares.
most important abilities half the time, D's.
They're
all-
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can keep going.
No, you can go ahead. No.
Okay. I have a comment about Nomad being a detective. Is that it's actually really interesting in the story. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It's pretty fun.
You mean
Which is
in
why
this
I like
story
it.
or in his canonical story?
No, I mean in this event story.
Oh,
He's
well,
like pretty fun in this event.
damn, spoiling me on stream. I see how it is. Oh.
Spoiling you for this event that won't get
I'm,
translated
I'm,
possibly
what?
a year or two.
They're really behind on translations now. Like, I was surprised they didn't translate Mystic Christmas last year, and they didn't translate again this year. And there was no sign of them translating it this year into.
They
Uh,
will translate it, and they will announce it this coming week. Obviously, they always do this.
Is it obvious?
Yeah, they-
Usually they give a hint of it, but I didn't see a hint of it.
They did it last year exactly on Christmas, right?
Yeah, they always do it like this. They always release the translations out of nowhere and very close to the Christmas date.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll get a decent story then, which unfortunately means my streaming days aren't over for this Christmas break. God damn it.
Oh, you have twice as much to stream for this event, by the way.
Yeah,
Once it gets there.
unfortunate.
Split route thing, right?
Yeah. We have. I'm sure that'll be fun to do. Maybe you should run them concurrently. Well, I don't know if you could do that.
I'll just be playing from the reprinted events or whatever, the past event shit. So
Yeah, but they reference each other, so you might have to do like one side and then the other, and then
I'm sure each branch is just half as long as the usual story to compensate for it.
good cope. We have some new comments just dropping in. Oh, hey Mark, 8% evasion is really durable. Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's pretty reliable. Well, yeah. Face start. I don't know. From Seeds, Glint, and Concentration. Actually, if you put Smokey as leader, that should make all other face start abilities get delicious plus 50 proc. Arrow, can you confirm that works?
If you put Smokey as leader, that should make the other no.
Actually, I had the help channel test that, and they indeed confirmed that.
How could you confirm it?
Because they put up like a Bertro, or like this 50% Bertro, and just like did it like 10 times.
I mean, that doesn't disconfirm it, does it?
I mean, unless they like rolled a 1 out of 1024 chance, then yeah.
Smokey as leader, that should make other face start abilities get that delicious 3% chance. Well, I don't know.
I mean,
Through
like,
my
you could
testing, it
just
has
test
been.
again, but like, I'm pretty sure that this should work to like confirm the other. Like the turn order should matter. I'm not sure about like the AR with the Kuchu AR if it's like a weird interaction with that, but for Smokey, definitely it should be that because I had to help channel confirm it.
Okay. Well, I
Smoky
will
God
need to see
is
these
the
tests.
meta.
I do not abide by hearsay. I will need to see this evidence myself later. So,
Believe in the Smoky God.
okay, yeah, we've covered that meme enough. Let's just read out the rest of the comments and move on to Unit 2, please. It's almost been 30 minutes. Jeez.
Yeah, he's one of the best skill seed targets. Yeah, Mystic Christmas as well as the story. I haven't read it. Milk
I
House
liked
Milk
Mystic
House-
Christmas. What do you have against Mystic Christmas? It's not that bad.
The thing I have against it is that I didn't read it.
Same.
The thing they have against it is Eta appearing, obviously.
Oh yeah, I guess the Aegir versus Eta arc was terrible.
Versus. Just see it Mystic in, that's good. Summer Christmas, shaking my head. It's like Nomad is broken.
Okay.
Broken, but he's pretty good.
But we'll see his long-term longevity from here on out. But even if he did have specific use, I don't know. I just don't see him fitting any kind of niche. He just does more damage buffs or something like that with some activation rate stuff. He seems more like a general purpose unit than like someone that unlocks some potential that wasn't possible before.
His niche is complete penetration of defensive debuffs.
That's not
Except
true.
evasion.
Except
That's not
evasion,
true.
the most important one.
Jeez. All right, we're moving on now. All right.
I mean, you could just remove that instead.
And yeah, I guess that's true, but only for Ezra or Calm. All right, moving on. We are now going to talk about Jiraiya. This will be covered by Milk. Yes.
Yeah. So Jiraiya is a pretty straightforward unit. He's basically kind of like Otohime, but if you thought to yourself, wow, I wish Otohime could pierce evasion with like some weird conditionals. So he's kind of like in this archetype with Otohime and Babe Bunyan where you get like the snipe shot unit with like crit plus or crit plus plus, but it's like tied to like some weird like condition. Otohime, like she can't get hit or else she'll like lock herself. Babe Bunyan, like his damage like ramps down over time. Yeah. And Jiraiya introduces this HP conditional skill effect where he only gets crit plus if his HP is greater than 80%, and he gets crit plus plus if his HP is less than 20%. So ideally you want him at like both ends of his HP spectrum. And you can't, and there's an extra skill to like prevent you from manipulating it like too easily, where he decreases his HP by -200 to himself whenever he hits somebody. So what I have to say about this is that this makes HP seeding Jiraiya actually matter, which is a very strange thing to say, because his HP at level 65 is 5,790 without ARs. So if you just look at it like 20% of 5,790, that's a little bit less than 1,200. It's like 1,158 or something. So if you're, for example, to like use Yoritomo with him, he would already be outside of this 80% range. So this would not happen if you did HP seed him, or if you gave him like an AR that bumped his HP beyond 6,000. So it's very interesting. What else?
That is a very thorough research you did for the exact values. Thank you for that.
He doesn't have like a self buff to himself, but he does give curse to enemies, and he has like extra damage against curse. So that's kind of like his attack up compared to like Otohime. It's obviously worse, but yeah, that's probably like the price you have to pay for being able to pierce evasion. He removes bind from himself. That's okay. He decreases like the CP to enemies at a 70% rate. That's not like too consistent. If you want to do like some like like CS prevention for enemies, ideally like this decreased CP is like 100%, because that actually matters a lot. So yeah, I have nothing to say about that. And he gives CP to allies. That's okay as well. Okay. There's this one last effect that's very interesting, which is that he gets evasion at an 80% rate at turn start if his HP is less than 20%. So naturally I thought that like you could just turn scum this, but what's preventing you from doing that is this -200 HP to self whenever you attack somebody. So what that means is that if he like decreases his HP due to the when attacking decrement HP, this evasion doesn't matter, because like if he's at 1 HP, the enemy is going to kill him. So you need like some healing to like counteract this. I don't really know of like the best way to do this at like 1 HP. So yeah, if anybody has any ideas, like throw it out. But honestly, I think it's just easier to keep him above 80% HP and just roll with that.
It's an interesting remark about that.
Yeah. I mean, it could lead to some cheesy situations, but I wouldn't like bank on this evasion too much. Unless like somebody like has like some excellent synergy or like healer to like keep you within that 20% range without going above and below. Then, yeah,
Could be possible.
Just
I'm sure there's a number of phase start heal effects.
Yeah. I mean, if you have like blessing, you can get like plus 600, and that would be enough to like get you out of like +1. But yeah.
Road to assuming meta. Let's go.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. For ARs, oh, I should talk about the CS. The CS is a 4x multiplier, so maybe he's our hidden 5-star variant. He gets crit plus plus and minus 50 CP to hit units at SALV 100. That's okay. It's basically very similar to like Otohime and Babe Bunyan, I think. Yeah. So for ARs, he can do Tetsuwakan AR. That's just like okay. It probably actually might not even be good because I think you might actually want to keep him doing regular attacks. He can equip like curse advantage ARs, like the Sitri Shiro AR. That would be good to like boost his damage for like a free 1.6x times. You can equip the Kuchi Lab AR, but honestly, I would rather have somebody else equip it so that his 90% procs are 100%. What else is there? Yeah, I don't know. Actually, you can get the Osei Kotaro AR for like this
Extra
sort of,
crit.
like Mimi crit. Oh wait, there's one really good AR. It's actually the Annie 4 AR, the Anniversary 4 AR, where you get like plus 1000 HP to yourself at the start.
The one
Is
with the salmon on the face of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because that like immediately counteracts when attacking decrement HP for like farming for like 1 turn clears. So if you have that AR, you can just throw it on to him and he'll like stay above that 80% range if you're like 1 turn clearing stuff. Yeah.
Okay, what do you know? Face start healing actually being useful for once.
Yeah. I actually had a lot of good use with that AR in dungeons, so I don't like underestimate that AR.
Honestly, I just brought that AR for the extra attack. The healing was kind of whatever every time.
I noticed it a lot in like Avarga because I have it on Avarga, and usually he would be like at some like precarious HP, but then like some phases would go by and he's like perfectly fine. So I actually like appreciate it.
I mean, my Avarga is usually fine because, you know, seated, so he always does evasion phase start. And even if he is hit, it's like he's charging regularly because I have the Tetsuwaka and ARs, and he heals like a pretty large chunk every time he charges. So it's never been a problem for me in that sense. Hi, Zalgus, Erbie, you still there?
I don't know if he was done or not.
No thoughts. Head empty.
Honestly, I kind of feel the same way, Erbie. Despite the whole, you know, either top him off or keep him low paradigm, in the end he's just like another snipe damage dealer.
To me, it just seems like worse Otohime, but yeah, it is different, but also I don't think it's different in a good way.
You can't see it in this picture because the artwork for Jiraiya is cropped, but the moon is quite pretty. There you go, Ara.
It is true. It is probably my favorite art of the batch among the units, even though I don't care about Jiraiya at all.
The Endwalker's joke. There you go.
Yeah, I should brought it up.
Oh my god, is Jiraiya a reference to Final Fantasy XIV?
No, I was talking about it with Ara early on, and I said I would make that joke for him. So I did. Anyway, I'll talk about something else that will probably annoy Ara. If the enemy happens to do something removes a lot of your HP when you hit them, you could, in theory, stack crit plus and crit plus plus.
Why do you keep on bringing this up? You do know that he's gonna have the combo penalty from that, right?
Oh my god, you can use it against the enemy Smoky God. Amazing.
But Ara, what if the enemy who depletes him to low health is in front and they have an enemy behind him, and then he reduces his
Why do I
HP?
have to deal with this? Every single time I swear to God, we always find these edge cases. I'm like, okay, sure, there are edge cases. Alright, but will you do this actually? I doubt it.
Don't you want a 30% multiplier?
Honestly, just use Leanna and call it a day. You don't need these specific situations where this word.
But you could have both of those, crit plus plus and crit plus and Lianan.
And Lianan crit if you get her CS up.
Uh,
all the crits.
You guys are too start for damage buffs, especially you, Erbie. What happened to you? Weren't you always like, oh, stacking damage buffs disgusting, and now you're like, what the shit?
Yeah, but now they destroyed flat damage meta, and now I don't like flat damage meta anymore. Sorry.
You heard it here. Flat damage meta is over. Brought to you by the person who brought it in the first place, Erbie.
But more seriously, yeah, I think Jiraiya's alright, but the weird HP range kind of sucks. I honestly would just use someone like Otahime instead, because it's easier to use, I guess. I mean, Jiraiya's easy enough to use until he falls after hitting like, what, 6 units or something, and then he's shit until he either gets healed or, you know, falls even lower. So I would prefer to just use someone like Otahime who can just, you know, always attack.
Yeah, in conclusion, Milk hit it, the nail on the head directly in his first line. He is essentially just like Otahime or Babe Bunyan, except he has a different set of restrictions. So use him as you will if the restrictions aren't as bad in that situation compared to the other two. But other than that, no.
Also,
kind of...
he's our rare, he's our first double 4-star variant. That's funny.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I had this idea that everyone would eventually receive at least one 4-star and one 5-star, but Jiraiya, across his regular rare version, as well as his summer variant, and now this variant, they've all been 4-stars. So you heard it here first, folks. It is possible for a unit to only get 4 stars, and it may be possible in the future.
Yes.
Yes.
All 5 stars. Yes. Let's go.
Triple 5 stars are happening. Confirmed.
Oh my god, Oniwaka, 3rd variant. Oh my god, no, 2nd variant, but 3rd 5-star. Let's go.
5-star Wakan 4. Yay.
He already had 5 stars technically, was Wakan Infinite. Alright.
Oh right, I forgot. Tangaroa.
Let's go 6 5 stars. Alright.
I mean, honestly, it's like the norm for Wakan and Tanga if you're pulling for ARs as well.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, we spent enough time on this, so read up the comments so that we can not reach 3 hours with the stream.
Let's see. It's like Nomad is broken.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Mystic Christmas. It's just most of it was very out there. Yeah, I don't really remember the story. I have him. You never see it coming. Yeah, it's a Persona 5 reference. I'm kind of actually annoyed by everybody saying like this event is like Persona 5, but actually they make references to it, so I guess there's a point. Hear me out. Bail with him. Let me think about this. I don't really see it. Is it because you like move him to like decrease the HP?
I have no
Like,
idea,
you
honestly.
back up and def up? I mean, like, that could work. It's just that I think it's like far easier to keep like Jiraiya at like, you know, the 80% to 100% than like the 0% to 20%, unless you're doing some like weird guts team with like, I don't know, like Robinson Survivor, but nobody uses that. Yeah. I guess you could use like, yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like skeptical about like suggesting people who can like decrease HP, like Yoritomo and Christmas Nomad. Let's see what else. I'm happy he has another alt, and his art is really nice, damn nice for now P. But this jackass is the reason why I'm so numb towards the event. 350 stones, only Ose. The rest garbage. Suffering.
Don't worry. Ose is also garbage.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
No! You're not making him feel better. I'm sorry to hear that, John Rivera.
I didn't limit break him due to the store shortage stuff I have. Yeah, I would kind of... Actually... I'll kind of get on that because of the HP stat actually mattering. I'm kind of really still weirded out that HP seeds actually matter, like significantly now.
I mean...
This new skill sort of thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, technically it's mattered since Kengo Valentine Brain came out, but in the opposite sense of you don't want to...
I mean, it's like a very slight attack decrement. But in here, like, it means that it's the difference between, like, missing crit plus to having or missing crit plus.
Well, I'm glad they're putting it to use because it always felt like getting HP seeds over attack seeds was always like a mistake when the seed dungeon came out.
Yeah. Regretting like the inefficiency, right?
Yeah.
I also realized Tetsuya is the only Christmas Now P I've ever been able to get. I'm so wary of these banners now.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by Jiraiya receiving the variant, and that kind of just it was kind of just, this thing. I was like, oh, that's neat. There's a lot of no ups that are Christmas, but Jiraiya already had a variant, and it's like, oh yeah, let's give him a Christmas one again. No, it's your thing.
Honestly, I think it's fine. I think it's less offensive than the Seth second variant.
Please no.
I mean, Jiraiya is one of the first units, and one of the
No.
I get a variant on the first year.
I'm fine with Jiraiya also, especially since his other kits suck ass. And also this art looks nice, so I actually might care about it more now. But it's more of a statement about Naups in general and why they keep on gravitating towards Christmas. It's kind of funny.
I kind of see like these second variants to be kind of like mega evolutions in Pokemon, where like they usually give it to like popular stuff, but rather they give it to like weird unappreciated people like, I don't know, like Mega Mawile or like Mega Steelix. But yeah.
Interesting take.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm fine with like the second variant Jiraiya. I think like of the people who need screen time, he's probably one of the top of the list.
Yeah, I agree.
Otohime Queen, still the best snipe DPS unit, aha. Yeah, that's why I added the conditional that Jiraiya can snipe evasion, which is like something Otohime cannot do. So yeah. So yeah, there's some situations where you just cannot use Otohime that Jiraiya would be better at.
Just use Soul in front of Otohime. I'm joking.
It could actually happen if you're working with like Christmas Nomad, but yeah. Let's see. His CS weapon is same weapon like Break's variant, one same snipe CS attack but different buffs. Variant Break. What does Variant Break do in his CS? Give darkness to enemies?
I completely forgot his kit. I know he deals flat damage and changes his drop.
Yeah, he's snipe type. If you move him, he gets thrust range, and he's better flat damage with his snipe, but he's better for scaling damage with his thrust, and there's a darkness thing every 3 turns or some shit like that.
It's as boring as his art.
I don't know, that zipper down is very exciting for some people.
Anyways, he seems fine for weekend coin farming. Aether, Mobster, and all that.
I would say that, but Nightglow's Kurgani exists, so it really does not matter anymore at all. Like,
oh, fair. Other snipe units can't use the Evasion Pierce AR. Yeah, like I found that this like kind of mattered in like the seed quests, vertical seed quests. So yeah. Tadatomo Moritaka AR. Me thinks that and the anniversary AR Milk brought up. Guts AR. Can you equip that on Nether? I think you can.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
Yep, it's fire Nether.
Because
Tadatomo, I think.
Because Valentada is Nether. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you can get it to like 20% like reliably, then sure. I think it'll depend on the quest though, if you can do it. So yeah, I would like rather build around the situation than like try to think of like some one size fits all sort of thing to get to that range. Snipe units. Otohime, can we copy your homework? Otohime, sure, just be sure to change it so that they don't suspect anything. Jiraiya's name is a reference to Persona 4 and Naruto. See, that's what I've been saying. Like, how dare, like, LifeWonders add Jiraiya and Orochimaru to the game? Disco Ninja Frog. Yep. Oh, there's more comments. Just use Jiraiya with 1 HP and slap Temijine's crit plus and Hote for the real Triforce of crits. Yeah. I think it might actually be easier with Babe Bunyan at that rate. Uga, 3rd 5-star. Yo, 3rd Kengo 5-star. I have him. The event is like Persona 4 versus Persona 5. Yeah, I guess so. Just stand literally who's so they're 4 stars, and you always pull them.
Ouch.
You heard them. Just stand Miniaki, people.
I mean, the Jiraiya stands basically are living the situation, so yeah.
That's what he's referring to exactly here, so yeah.
I'd say B Cherno, but B Cherno's good with everyone. What is this referring to? Like keeping the HP up? I guess so.
Yeah.
Kicking me while I'm down, lol. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. It was just too good to say cause this trash.
I mean, I do feel bad about your situation, but I have been consistent with in terms of me feeling like Jiraiya was actually literally who also. So, poor dude, but hey, he's making a comeback for people like you, just to break your heart. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cherno is a powerhouse. Can you go?
I think that was talking about the pulling Osei thing, and
Yeah.
Osei and how he was garbage.
Sorry, it wasn't an attack against you. It was an attack against Ose.
He's fun in this event too. BBQ Cherno is a powerhouse support and was before Otohime though. He can hit hard though. Yeah, BBQ Cherno can actually like do quite a bit of damage.
Imagine using beachside Chernobog at all nowadays.
He's still a good option if we had like restrictions for like fire, which we actually do. So yeah. Like if you wanted to do low cost fire, he was like Nier's. He was very good last year.
Just solo. No, I was just going to say just solo with Festival Ryota again. There you go. The only fire restriction you need.
I'm still surprised so many people like beachside Chernobog. I mean, yeah, he's good, but he's never been particularly a specialist unit in anything. He's just good at healing and damage, and
I mean,
never really good at dealing with any gimmicks.
I mean, when you complain about Nomad being too general too.
Yes, so you can see there's a trend here of units. I'm just like, why bother?
Honestly, I can see Chernobog's general utility more useful than Nomad's, but that's just me.
Honestly, I don't really understand like why you don't like these like brain dead units, so to speak, and then like Lianan so much. But yeah, this is me.
FYI, Lianan is the reason why we have so much amazing creative units today, because they tried to compensate for her bussedness by making everyone else busted and unique in their own way too, in their own niche. So you can thank Lianan for the diversity of units we have today.
Never.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sure, Jen. We already had Gogo before Lianan. Okay.
He should be careful from ether units when they hit him. Yeah, Guts is a pretty good suggestion because there's at least that one time he gets like the crit plus off. And even if you're like not counting on evasion, then yeah, maybe like that could be done. BBQ Cherno's good but boring. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Sure.
It's like using it's like using Kamui 5-star regular.
I mean, at least Kamui 5-star has a niche in terms of being like ultimate debuff prevention man.
Yeah.
And heals.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate tank in terms of both debuffs and healing and defense buffs.
And buffing offensively as well.
Yeah. Well, that's more of a bonus, but yeah.
Alright, going back to the Erbie's comment about Festival of Ryota, you can actually solo this quest with one particular unit as well. So, like this new water, low cost one. So yeah, it's kind of funny. You can solo it with somebody.
I have not thought too much about it, to be honest, but I believe it.
Is it Kamui 4? I saw someone saying that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about Fashionista Suzuka, because honestly, it probably is. I did do it with 2 Suzukas, but I believe if you turn scum enough, you can clear it with just Suzuka.
No, you don't even need to turn scum. The answer to soloing all content is Yule 4-star. Yeah.
Oh my god, guys.
Oh my
Console.
god.
As a return.
Oh my god. I don't actually have him. I think I only got one copy, and I didn't.
Are you
have
serious? You can still redeem it right now. You know, whatever. It's your choice. That's
one.
fine.
There's too much. I'm not going to buy extra copies, especially when I'm not going to use them that much. And there's always new ARs now in the shop. It's impossible now. It is too late to get well-filled ARs. from the pack.
That is too unfortunate. All right.
Yeah. Okay, we should probably. move
Yeah,
on.
for real. We are at 50 minutes. You guys, we are only 2 units done. All right. Your favorite unit ever, Erbie. Let's go. Benten. you're up.
Disgusting. Okay,
Yes,
Benten.
Queen.
Disgusting. Okay. Benten is probably one of the easiest units to get an
Shut up.
all-range multiplier.
Oh, I thought you meant to pull.
I wasn't going to say to pull. No, I'm not going to start with the memes. I'm going to end with the memes. Also, she also has one of the new conditionals effects where one of the new conditional trigger effects that only happens if she is not moved at all. It doesn't mean dragging her around and moving her. No, this also means you cannot move her with other units by pushing her around. So basically this will only trigger if she does not leave the spot at all. Even if you move her around and put her back on the place she was before, this will not trigger. So basically if all these requirements are met, she will change to all range for 1 turn and will gain ardor and also bestow ardor to allies around her and gain limit to herself. This on top of getting phase start vigor gives her 3 potential attack buffs on all range, which is pretty nice. It allows her to deal around 5k damage or something like that to the entire board, which can potentially exponentially be further increased with other buffs. Unfortunately, not with buffs from the most common attack buffer in the game that probably everyone uses, Lianan, because she already has all the buffs that Lianan can provide, all the attack buffs that she can provide. She also has other effects if you decide to move her, or if she ends up missing or something like that. If you decide, honestly, I don't think these effects are really worth it, but they are there. If you decide to move her, she will change to magic range instead. She will steal 1 buff from all enemies in shot range at a very low percentage, at like 50%, something like that.
It's okay. Not
And-
super low, but yeah, it's not
and-
amazing.
And she has a 70% chance of gaining crit as well, which will allow her to deal decent damage on magic range. It's basically crit plus the vigor she gets on phase start, which allows her to deal some decent damage on magic range. There is also another part of his kit, of her kit, that is, if you decide to do none of these things, if you don't move her, or if you don't leave her unmoved or just drag her around, she will continue to be in unrange. Or if you actually miss these 90% chance, because it's only 90% chance to change to all, of course, but thankfully we have the Glint AR now for that. But if none of these requirements are met, she will instead remain unranged, gain Rage Plus, which is virtually useless because it's only going to last 1 turn, but it is an additional attack buff for the next turn. And she will also apply oppression in a 3 square diamond radius and will drain all her CP. Naturally, I don't think I need to say much of how good she probably will be to clear the easy quests, but she does have a problem is that she also charges her CS very frequently because she also gains
6 CP per
6 CP per enemy she hits.
Honestly,
so she will...
they seem to put that a lot to prevent charge spam nowadays, or rather the opposite of charge spam.
Yeah. So basically, this means that she won't be able to do one turn clears, even if you give her a lot of buffs, and she won't be able to get through through a lot of phases, because she will eventually get her charge up, and well, her charge isn't all range; it's magic range, and that kind of sucks. but yeah. One thing to note is that because she cannot be moved in any means at all, if you want her to continue to be all range.
No, you can still move her by skill effects, right?
Yes, I think you can move her still by skill effects, and she still triggers everything.
Yeah, as long as it's outside.
Ooh,
like
made meta.
Made meta, not the made meta. Anything but the made meta. But yeah, this makes her a bit harder to use in general, especially since you don't want any units to pass her. So eventually there's going to be some situations where you'll actually want to do diagonal movements just to get your units around and not drag her by accident outside of her position. Otherwise, she will not trigger her weapon change all, and she will essentially become useless for one turn, which is not a good thing. But yeah, I think she's a pretty neat unit, but a terrible person, and that is it.
Oh wait, I just realized she can equip the Benten AR, the 5-star one, because she's Benten, and that's actually really strong for Wizard. Holy shit.
Well, honestly, I don't think it's really that strong, to be honest. It does. I think she benefits more from scaling buffs than flat damage, because she already has 3 attack buffs.
I mean, yeah, but
so she can potentially deal a lot more damage if you stack even more, or if you use something like Fushi and other buffers that give crit and Berserk plus.
Yeah, but I'm talking about ARs here, not like units, right? I mean, there's an argument to be had of equipping the Kengo AR instead, but that's still at a really low rate. So it's like, the Benten AR would probably be more generically useful, and also dealing with evasions occasionally. But
I don't know why the on miss CP says it scales up to.
It's because they
CP.
didn't put a hard limit on it, that's why. They never do for these negative effects. It's just like... But yeah, essentially it's just 100 CP. That's not going to change.
It is very weird, but yeah, it's probably an oversight like that. Honestly, it is a lot easier to use than our other alternative, but also harder to use in a different sense. Our other alternative for having an all-range unit right at the beginning of the phase, just like that, without needing charges whatsoever, was Kalki, but he needs to have a debuff, and there's not a lot of ways to get those debuffs. But when you can get them, he can be pretty strong.
Yeah, Benten opens the gates a lot for being able to like use ARs with attacking effects, because she just doesn't all range attack now. No Kalki beams.
The drawback is that she already has most of the common buffs on her kit, so she can't be used with a lot of the common buffers, and moving units around her without moving her at all is probably going to give people some minor issues on their clears, but that is all.
True. She's all those buffs. I just realized, yeah, like pretty much all Lianen has them all. Is Benten actually Lianen confirmed?
Yes, essentially you cannot use. I mean, you can use Lianen with her, but she's not going to boost her damage at all unless she CS's and gives her crit.
She's also probably not ferrying her, because you don't want that.
Yeah, you can't ferry her.
Yeah, so I had some thoughts about Benten's like modes of operation, so to speak. I think it's kind of nice if you like switch between like her all range and her magic range to like keep the ardor from her all range back, and then like switch into magic range to do like more damage. At least I think that's like kind of a fun way to play with her.
Yeah,
And I actually like the
keep in mind the effective multiplier between all range versus magic range is like 2.6 times. So that's a significant multiplier.
Yeah.
Is it 2.6? No, it's like a 2.8.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.8 times.
2.6
Yeah.
is nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually like the Rage Plus and Oppression thing. Mainly because, again, like if you're like in the cleanup part of the phase where there's like one enemy left, you can like have Benten like miss on purpose to get the Rage Plus for the next turn. So yeah, that's kind of fun. And her Oppression is actually at a very high rate for a large range oppression. It's like 90%, and Yoritomo's like 3x3 is only 80%. So I think this is actually kind of newish in a sense.
Yeah, but
so
you know, if you're
like,
skill senior, you're not really gonna get much usage out of it since she'll always be having all range or magic range at that point. And if she's magic range, then you're not gonna get that much space.
you can still make her miss by ferrying her around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah. So so like if you do like some weird like you can do like some weird oppression cheesing strategy, I guess. But I think it'll probably like take too much to do it. Because I was trying to do it earlier, due to Mugen Wakan, but apparently like nobody has like really good like guaranteed oppression at a large range.
Isn't there like
So, yeah,
Melusine?
you could, but I didn't have her at the time.
Just Smoky God and Gullinbursti. There you go.
Stop.
Every stream until you like it.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, the Rage Plus is probably the more important one, but yeah, you can use it to carry over into the new phase.
Yeah. Overall, I think Benten's just a really strong unit that finally we don't have to rely on Echo or Kalki anymore for all range. I use Echo more than Kalki actually.
Honestly, I'm still going to use Kalki more because I think it's a lot easier to. I have him seated. I think he's also easier to use with other attack buffers because I can actually use him with Lianan.
No, I agree. It's just there's more options now, but at the same time, like Kalki still is slash range where Benten is non range, which means Benten kind of has a shit selection of ARs, and Kalki still has the buff removal ARs as an option. But you know, it's nice to have more options.
I actually have used Benten. I was using her last night to farm the wood quest quickly instead of having like wide slash and double magic. Yes, the CP was actually a problem. About the CP,
I forgot to mention because it's my mind, but just bring Toji or something so that you can take away her CP every phase start.
Yes, I was thinking about that, but I went with Tindalos instead because he gives Berserk Plus. Now, something to note is that Benten's performance in this event is actually misleading because she has a 100% attack buff from the event. So for anyone who thinks, wow, she's doing so much damage so easily, she's actually
she only deals 5k damage with her own buffs or something like that.
Yeah, it's just enough to clear some of the early quests, which is nice for like the difficult or lots of element quests like the wood ones. But for later stuff, she won't be able to do that unless someone's buffing her, like in my case, Tindalos, because he gives Berserk Plus. So, don't rely on Benten solo clearing anything because 5k
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, 5k is a decent amount to start with if you give her more buffs. The only issue is she has more of the common ones that'll be hard to stack on top of that.
She has the Lianan ones, and therefore people are at a loss at what to do.
Yeah. Nobody's remembering Valentine Kenta.
Yeah, I like him still. Also, Benten's attack stat is shit.
But yeah, Kalki is even shittier, so
It's never stopped people from just stacking buffs anyway, so it's not an issue really.
I feel like they make this on purpose, all range to everyone that has shitty attack stats.
But yes, I think only Tindalos and Toji can successfully stop Benten from CSing and removing her all range. I mean, they'll inevitably CS too, but can't at least get all range.
Get a non-friend Benten support.
Oh, that's so meta. The meta. We're here, boys.
I mean, she's gonna be up for like this event, so might as well.
Unfriend everyone that has a Benten.
I might do that for this the next week of quotas.
I was originally thinking that for like Chinia when his Evo came out, but then I realized they don't even get CP at all when they are not support. But I guess this is a more legit case of, it's better if you don't have them added.
You can do it with Temujin, right? Or is it? It's not how it works. It's 0 CP.
Yeah, it's always 0 CP if they're not your friend. Is the thing. Yeah, it would. Yeah. I was ready for that meme, but sadly, it was not meant to be. Benten, however, is bringing it back, so that's cool.
There could be like a 0 CP sort of case, though, right?
Yeah, and in that case, it'll be like actually useful to bring non-support meta. Let's go, strangers. Let's go, not having friends. This is how you're supposed to play.
Well, I'll have to keep that in mind for a future stream.
Just find a non-friend seeded Benten. Easy. For the easy clears.
True words have never been spoken. Okay, let's not prolong this long. I think I'm just gonna say read out the comments even if we have other thoughts because we are approaching the 3-hour mark. So sorry.
Yeah, and we're still missing 2 units.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Don't worry, I'll be
Hermes
fast.
is also probably going to be long too.
Yeah.
Okay, even more reason for me to go fast.
It's okay. The only thing I have to say about Ose is shit. So my part is going to be fast. Where were we again?
That's always the question of the day.
Just use Jiraiya with 1 HP. No, we're at
Barbecue Cherno's good but boring. Okay. Benten, Oracle, Bentizen.
She's Benzaiten.
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Bentizen, what the hell?
It's Benzaiten.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That feels like a fusion between Benten and Aizen. I forgot she was on banner. Oh my god, I wish I could forget too. Oh, her weapon is non-weapon. That's what I need to use on the missions. Yes, the missions are all about using the weapon ranges of the units of on the banners. Isn't it funny that the only thief unit in the banner is Benten, but her stealing is actually not that great, and you'll rather leave her standing forever? I guess. Yeah,
your mic has like some noise.
What, mine?
Yeah, Erbie, it's you again. It's not me, it's Erbie. I can hear it. You think I'll hear my own noise? It's from Erbie's side.
Well, it's because like your icon is always lit up on Discord.
Yeah, but does it actually make noise?
I am trying to fix it.
I am muting myself. No.
Is it fixed?
Okay, it's actually Erbie.
Yeah, there's like a scratchy noise.
See, you guys have been. I remember this. You guys were saying it was me last time. I was like, what? Really? I'll check it. And I checked it, and it was Erbie. It was Erbie.
Is it good now?
Yeah,
it's a little bit better.
Just keep speaking.
Okay, sure. Where was I again? Oh my god. I will not read that comment. Harvey, this is why you will never get League Show variants.
Oh my god, Harvey's so based.
When we have Lianan at home is actually pretty good. Benzaiten is the different name for Benten because her name in Japanese is Bentizen.
Oh, that's crazy.
Benzaiten.
Bentizen. It's something like that. I will believe you. I will insert the meme of Roxas saying, "Okay, I believe you." Yes. That is all the comments.
Alright, then we will move on away from Erbie's waifu and into
Disgusting.
All right, let's go. This will be covered by Zalgus, so go ahead.
Unfortunately, I have nothing good to say about this.
That's always a good start here.
I mean, Erbie already prefaced it, so let's go fast. Right, so I'll say he doesn't really do that much in his kit compared to, say, like Nomad. He's got a pretty short kit. So the most interesting thing is that on turn start, he will do a fear in a 2x3 range in front of him. If his CS is 50 or above, then he will also do a third row on top of that. So he will do a 3x3 of fear on turn start. That's a pretty hefty rate of 90%. So if you can maintain high CP, that would be nice, because nice fear range on turn start, no need to actually hit them or anything. And, possible repercussions of hitting. And to go with that, on miss, he applies fear advantage to the slash range in front of him, which is a 2.5 multiplier against fear-affected enemies. It's pretty good, I guess. Fear is a common debuff, and Osse is very good at applying it. I don't know if I'd say very good, but he's decent at applying it. And he also applies Vigor in slash range, except it's at a fucking terrible rate of 50%, which you don't want to rely on that at all. So I hate that, personally. I mean, together with Fear advantage, it's a 5.7 multiplier, so it's decent, but Vigor is 50%. And his other unique thing is when he misses, he gains range defense. So he gains 0.1 multiplier versus snipe and shot, and if he hits someone, he will gain 1 times multiplier against slash, blow, and long slash. So supreme defense against those, pretty much. Now, so he's kind of supposed to be like this tank who swaps forms between who he wants to tank, but this has a number of problems. First of all, like, this isn't. He doesn't actually tank for anyone else. Like, okay, so yes, he's taking no damage. Okay, that's cool, but he doesn't help the rest of his team at all. that doesn't help.
Your advantage, Zalgus.
Yes, the other problem is that he can't take advantage of melee, really, because what he really wants to do is be in the back, giving vigor and fear advantage, but to get the fear advantage he has to be up front or have high CP and the enemies being on the row front. So the tank abilities look neat, but in my opinion they're just kind of useless. And also the cases where you're going to be getting hit by only one type is kind of far and few, and also it doesn't apply to thrust or magic. Magic being a pretty common one, so that sucks as well. And without those defense multipliers, he's pretty squishy because he has nothing else besides that. And besides that, he has some other minor support. He has combo with some healing to allies, which is okay, I guess, but he can only heal twice for 600, which is not impressive.
I'm just really baffled by that abysmal heal of 300 HP only to allies and adjacent, if he manages to hit with his tiny blow range, and not even guaranteed.
Yeah, that's
not even to self either. Why bother? What the heck?
Just remember, Miniaki has blessing to self and allies.
Ose was trying to follow in his senpai's footsteps, but flopped miserably.
Yeah. So, and he also gives himself CP when he misses, which in my opinion, is actually detrimental, because it makes it so that he can't hang out in the back row fearing enemies as long, because he'll turn into thrust and then he won't miss. So, he'll stop giving his fear advantage and stuff, which is, that's his. Honestly, I think his fear advantage is his only real advantage, only real point of interest, because fear is so common that a fear bot is nothing to really be interested about. His range and melee defense is not particularly useful because it doesn't help anyone else. If he were to, like, say, grant tenacity behind himself or something, then that would be more useful, but he doesn't do that, so he's a selfish tank, essentially. And, only to one set of group of enemies at a time, so, the other enemies can hit him anyway. I mean, I guess the range defense is more useful because he won't be in range for the melee units to hit him normally, but...
Honestly, it seems like the most practical use you can use him for isn't even in the back row of someone. It seems like just keeping him in the front corner of something, tanking and aggroing the units is his best choice.
Yes, he would be useful in Thor's dungeon because he can stay on the front lines forever, assuming that he doesn't get sideswiped by a slash unit and doesn't hit anyone. His CS is okay, I guess, evasion to allies, but not to self. I guess because he has a stupid
He still has the
melee resistance.
He still has the issue that he can't heal himself, though.
Yeah, he does. And he removes debuffs to allies and CPs to self again for some reason. I mean, he's alright at charging his CP, I guess. I guess the idea is that you miss a bunch, charge his CP, and then, you start fearing at long range. But, then he's going to turn into thrust and make it harder to keep that. So, I didn't even bother looking up ARs for him because he disgusted me so much, but I guess the Kakutsuchi AR would be okay for combo.
Doesn't he already have combo itself?
Yeah,
Like-
but he has to hit things.
Oh, yeah, well.
You could
True.
fish twice. There you go. All in all, Osei's kit is completely trash. There you go.
Yeah,
He-
kind of surprising he's allowed to exist considering all
He's-
the arcs around nowadays.
He has all. He doesn't do anything. He's a fear bot and he applies fear advantage. Cool. The rest of his kit is worthless. And 2.5 times multiplier and fear botting is not enough to be useful because everyone can give 2.5 times multiplier is Diamond Dozen and so is fear. So I'll say in the bin.
I mean,
I can redeem him. I have one good thing to say about Ozzy, is that he has an Odin plushie. He wins.
I was confused by that. I'm surprised they gave a reference to such an obscure character. And I don't even know what his relationship is with Odin. Have they even interacted before?
You would
know if you read untranslated content. Yeah.
No. I do not.
I love how snide that sounded.
I actually
pretend I
have
do not see.
one funny idea with Osei. It has to deal with I think it's basically because from the the Hell Onsen with Zurong or whatever. I keep trying to find these people who apply paralysis and fear pretty reliably. But I think it would be pretty funny if you just had Osei in the front lines, and then just had Zurong CS all the time. But you just have Osei apply fear and then run away. That's it.
Yeah, but you could do that with that Osei too.
Yeah, you can do that with
Anyone that has fear.
Furufumi with you can use Furufumi by waiting until it's turn 4 and then get his CS off. Yeah.
He's okay if you put him behind Yumao, I guess, who has fear on charge. And he also doesn't have vigor, so synergy. There you go.
Yeah. If
That
the
is
fear
not enough.
if the fear multiplier was higher than 2.5, I think it would be better because fear is really common. So if the main gimmick of his kit, because honestly his defenses are not even worth considering. So if the fear advantage was better, I think he would be a lot more usable. But as it stands, he's basically extremely mediocre.
I think if he did more stuff for his team, at least Halloween Abisu did stuff with reflect debuff, then yeah. If there's some form of protection or healing.
Honestly, as much as some of you shit on Abisu last time, I feel like Osei here is actually just worse than Abisu.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think both are worthless, to be honest. But
I
yeah,
think Osei is worse. But yeah.
I'll say it's way worse. It's
Yeah. At least you get after buff debuffs with.
And can
Oh,
freeze
maybe
2 columns, yeah. This is just
Yeah.
fear. Whoa.
I mean, the only good thing that I can think about turn start fear is that you don't have to deal with when attacking after being hit nullify reflect debuff stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, very conditional usage and all of that point, and usually they're immune to, well, not usually, but oftentimes they're immune to fear and things that freeze movement. It's whatever. Anyways, not all of them can be winners, so here's the stinker of the batch. Sorry again. to the person who was trying to. I think it was John. Yeah, John Rivera was trying to pull Jiraiya. Sorry, my dude, but you have pulled the Osei.
And the worst unit in a while, to be honest.
Honestly, probably the worst unit of the year.
He doesn't do it. Hopefully, a banger to end it.
Rest in peace, Sean. Anyways, read out the comments. I think we're done shitting on this unit, and then we'll head over to the last unit of the batch.
Lol, okay, I believe you, Roxas.
Yeah, applying fear on enemies is like he said, fear me. I fear him because I feared pulling him. Also, probably Miniaki's stats being an 8th blow unit. Yes, well, Miniaki is like 10 times better. I'll say fear advantage team support, but the poison team, Shenlong, Astaroth, and Astarte deal way more. Yes, dealing millions with Astarte and Astaroth. Well, he's a blow unit, but his CS weapon attack is thrust. Yes, it would actually be better if it was blow, because then he could continue missing. Okay, he's not bad. The bad. Yeah, he is. But let's be real, his other 4-stars way better. Worse figurine, but have a secret barrier and more utility skills, but his X-Missile, I tried something but it flopped, I guess. Yeah, I'd say his base version's better. I don't know what they were trying with this, but they gave him like tank skills, but he can't actually tank for anyone else, so it's just kind of selfish. And I guess it... I won't continue waffling on about why I think it is bad. Imagine waiting this long for Osei variant and you end up getting this shit.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't have to wait that long for the Osei variant. He's like, he wasn't that old of a unit, right?
Yeah, Osei has like 1 year and a half.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years and a half, actually. He released on new semester 2019.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad.
That's been pretty long.
It's been a while, but not that long, to be honest.
We're still waiting for a duo variant, so it's like Osei can cry only once about receiving his variant after all this time, but there's still a lot of other units still waiting.
We're waiting
She
to get
complained to
terrible
LifeWonders about Night Glows, where we should have had our Duo Riku banner.
The Riku banner, finally. Damn it.
He doesn't even have any cool alts.
That's true. Everyone has like a cool, like a detective alt or some sort of like a heist alt. He's just in a sense.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he doesn't have like the shirt, the purple shirt.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. He's like literally, his thing is being like a master of disguise or something, and he's just wearing Santa gear in both his like
honestly
child forms.
I think both the art and the kit were pretty sloppy.
Oh
Yeah,
right.
His kit art was just like.
I feel like whoever was designing the kit looked at the art and just lost all motivation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't like his art. I think his adult art is better. And
yeah, for sure. The adult art is well posed, but if you want my thoughts on the child art, go see the community posts of the meme. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's bad.
On the plus side, I would say that Osei is actually very fun in the event story. But yeah, that's it.
There's your redeeming thing.
Faint praise. I'll say half-woo. Why are there tears in my eyes? Sorry, Jean. Seriously though, he seems really half-baked, doesn't do enough in either of his roles, and probably would have been better off just focusing on one or the other. Yeah, he's kind of trying to do this whole, general role-switching thing that kind of Miniaki and Ibisu both did. I forget if Ibisu did it, but Miniaki definitely did it, and except he's terrible in it because he doesn't do enough in anything. So, yeah, it's bad, and I hate it. And I'm glad I didn't roll him.
I hate it so much that I want to roll him and then use him in a team for a CQ.
Just use a fucking... Oh no, he would be terrible, even worse in support slot.
That sounds like torture.
I think it'd be pretty funny if like he turns out to be like the most used unit for this like next CQ.
I mean, there is an Aether restriction
Yeah.
in one of these,
Yeah, it's
I
like
think.
it's like Ether lower than 30 cost, and like if it
Can
was
we
just
use
like
Miniaki instead?
Or
completely
Benten.
Yeah,
designed around
we probably
Osei.
just use Miniaki, yeah.
Moving on.
Rep agents. I mean, rep Osei among the agents. Every other agent receiving a really good event. And then Osei just like,
probably talk about
one more comment and then we can move on.
Oh yeah, his child art looks like one of those crappy posable wood figures. Yes, I don't know what it is about the pose, but it's really stiff and just
It looks like he's in pain holding up his chin. Are you taking the picture yet? Ow, I'm having a crap. What the fuck is that?
yeah.
Okay, anyways, we're gonna talk about the last unit of this batch. Thank goodness, we're not at 3 hours yet. Clown moment. We are going to be talking about Hermes, who is very generic looking Bara, but his kit is actually pretty interesting at least. He has introduced a new set of statuses that play around with the concept of damage as well as healing by reversing them. And not just flat damage, but also damage like it. Sorry, that was not a good expression. Attack damage, which is a thing that has been usually exclusively used for League, but we won't talk about that. So let's go down his roles one by one. I'd first describe him as a damage reverser, which is just, based on the name, damage reversal, but also HP loss reversal. So HP loss reversal, if an ally has this particular buff, then if they lose any HP through damage over turn effects such as countdown, or if they lose HP through skill effects such as Corpicker's turn start HP reduction to all enemies, that will instead be converted to a heal. So it's nice that it actually works for both skills and statuses as such. On charge, he also has this very unique ability of reversing attack damage. So, for example, if you were to receive lethal damage, that will no longer be lethal. Instead, it would be just the damage that would be healing you. So it's in a way better than evasion because evasion, you still lose some HP. And this one, you're just actually gaining HP. So it's impossible to die with this. It's essentially like guts at this point. The major downside of damage reversal, though, is it's only one turn and it's on charge, and he doesn't really have any. He's not the best at building his charge. He has one ability related to it, but we'll get to that right now, actually. So as a damage reverser, I guess buff reversal also plays along with that, as well as reducing CP to prevent any powerful charges. But he bestows himself 30 CP to self every time if he's unmoved, which is just like Benten. In terms of he cannot be moved by the player, cannot be dragged, but he also can't be ferried around by his allies pushing him around across the board during the movement phase. And this damage reversing role also plays into synergy with him reducing HP to his allies. Yes, his allies, your own team, in a 2 square diamond radius around 1,000 HP will he be reducing, but the fact that he also bestows the reversal of HP loss means he's actually going to be healing their HP, at least for the first 3 turns, or until they lose that buff. So yeah, the second part of his kit, I would say, as a rule, would be him being a healing reverser, which means, as it says on the tin, he reverses healing from the enemy whenever he inflicts the status of healing reversal when he attacks the enemy. So this actually means when paired with his other effect of healing the enemy in a 3 square diamonds radius ahead. In the first turn, he's actually just going to outright heal the enemy before anyone attacks. And then after he attacks, the enemy will have that debuff. And then only on turn 2 will that effect of healing the enemy actually be converted into subtracting 10k HP from the enemy. So it's quite a powerful effect, but you're not going to get usage of it until turn 2 in very least. And evasion may also help him mitigate some more damage in terms of that too. At least itself. And lastly, he has some minor supportive abilities. Well, they're not that minor, but they just don't really fit into the roles from before. If you do decide to intentionally move him, that is drag him around, he won't be activating his CP to self or his HP suck or his HP bestow. Instead, he will be bestowing attack up to allies adjacent to him, which is, it's a strong buff, and it's at a high rate at 9%. And he also has extended movement, so it's good for ferrying around other units, which is fitting for the god of Hermes, as I'm sure many of us know the thing he does is like being a courier of some kind.
Messenger of the gods, yes.
Yeah, that is correct, thank you. And he also has a very high steal rate if you decide to move it too. I bet it's only 1 square ahead. But, it's 90%, and that's like, stealing can be quite strong as a result. As a side note, he has this effect where he loses CP every time he attacks, but it's in such an exact amount where, because of his range magic, every magic unit normally receives 4 CP no matter what, even if they're skill locked, for every unit they hit. Because he loses 4 CP every time he hits a unit, that means, at least as long as he's not skill locked, he's actually not going to be gaining any CP at all, except for overflow, whenever he hits units. So the only way he's going to be gaining CP is if you decide not to move him, practically speaking, or if you give CP, of course, to another unit or set of ARs. So it's not going to be super easy to get CP with him, especially since the condition of not being moved is quite stringent. But yeah, recommendations for this. This will be my one and only time you'll hear this. I may recommend Smoky God for him, but not for his rate up. Mostly for the countdown meme, where he inflicts countdown on his own team, because then Hermes can reverse that. But yeah, it'll be several turns ahead of that, and HP loss reversal could be gone by then. So you'll probably want to bring along with that an Itsamna Tanngrisnir is set up to at least keep that HP loss reversal persistent beyond the 3 turns it normally lasts. And lastly, or at I guess 2 last points. You'll also want to bring Itsamna and Tanngrisnir in general if the enemy is inflicting a lot of flat damage, so that you can just like completely eat it and ignore that effect. On the flip side, if the enemy has strong healing effects such as G regeneration or some other skill that allows them to heal themselves, then Hermes would be good to bring with Jurong, who can keep a G regeneration up, for example, to keep a healing reversal negatively affecting the enemy instead of healing them. Those are pretty much all my thoughts on this. Don't really have any AR specific in mind.
Did you actually test if G regeneration works? Because I was going to ask about that.
Well, I can steal it, so it should be fine to just reverse it. But yeah, I did test that. It perfectly reverses things fine, as expected.
Nice. Fat flat damage. There you go. There's your flat damage, man.
It's pointless because they added this HP loss reversal. Flat damage meta is over. Now enemies will start having this. It's all over.
Hey, Ara, did you test it with the Halloween evos as well? That double.
I didn't test it that early, okay? No, I did not.
That could be interesting. I don't need to slow that now.
Anyways, that was like one super long chunk of text I just spoke out right now, and I'm thirsty, so you guys speak a bit while I drink some water.
Hermes. I demand you call any video involving Hermes that.
I hate this unit. Sorry.
Is it
I do not like the idea of HP loss reversal. Everything else is fine, but HP loss reversal, no.
This speaks against his very soul.
Yes, this is disgusting.
I'm sorry, Uri, but he single-handedly ended flat damage meta. So you're just gonna have to accept it.
So I feel like he's really gimmicky to be like very straightforwardly useful. I think like the point that you had about Itsamna and Tanngrisnir is actually probably basically the best usage of him, especially since his CS doesn't give the buff to himself, right? You need like Tanngrisnir to spread it instead. So yeah. Yeah. He's very fun in this event story. That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, I wanted to pull his 3-star because his buff is unique. Honestly, I feel like this is kind of like Shenong's poison reversal in that it's probably going to be unique to him, but who knows?
I very much hope so, because it is annoying in the farm quests to see him gain HP when I was trying to use that.
Like the dead suck thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it only like on their face start anyways?
No, I believe the enemy has on an appearance, because it wasn't
Cheating.
working.
Huh. It's kind of fucked up. That sucks.
I feel like Hermes is one of those big brain units who no one, or people who are just casually playing, will never use, because what you don't want to do is forget to not move him, and then all of a sudden the enemies heal a bunch, and it's like,
I mean,
oh no.
I mean, people can use him to buff Benten, I guess.
Oh right. What is it? Did we mention like the healer Yoritomo yet?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, that is not real. I refuse to accept it.
Because
Leonan can heal too.
Why are you guys
Because,
talking like it's a good
that
thing?
is-
You do realize you're saying it
that
was a
is-
good thing that he was taking away HP when he first
that-
released, right?
That is cursed.
Oh, I had to bring it up because of like the Jiraiya, right? Christmas Jiraiya has like the 80% thing. So if you actually wanted to run like Yoritomo with Jiraiya, you would need to use Hermes to do that. At that point, you're better off running Otahime, but it could be like a thing in the future when HP like range stuff becomes more common. Because I think that's definitely going to be more common than this like loss reversal thing.
I don't really understand the lore of why Hermes does this reversal stuff regarding healing and damage.
Yeah, I thought he would have had something like.
I thought he would be moving a lot
range
more
movement.
and not like, you
Yeah,
know, be punished for moving. What the heck?
I mean, he's a god of other stuff.
Is he?
But
All I know is
also-
he moves a lot and usually he's depicted with like wings on his feet or some shit.
He's like the god of like 10 things, and one of them is also the king of thieves or something like that.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like
that's
a
from the stealing part at least.
Yeah, he's kind of like a trickster sort of person. At least like in the wiki, you can see that the title is like Master Swindler. So that's why he's in this event with like all the other big brain characters.
I regret to inform everyone that it is true. My only understanding of Hermes representation is from Disney media, so this is all news to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, Greek gods in general are. You can pick a Greek god, and they'll probably be gods of like 5 things other than their most
Yeah, but-
known things.
Hermes in particular is a god of like a lot more things than most other gods. He's like because I remember he's like a god of like a really big list of things. He's essentially the god of almost everything.
The god
Even
of
like-
ending flat damage meta.
Disgusting.
But yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go with the divine messenger thing and just have him like with expanded all range movement and like giving a bunch of was equivalent to messages to everyone.
Is it all range or horizontal?
It's only horizontal, so I'm surprised it wasn't like all range.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought horizontal just because he has wings.
No, horizontal is more generically useful. But yeah, that's also associated with winged one. The skill, the Gen 1 skill. But yeah. Any other thoughts on this unit before we head to the comments?
Buff reversal is kind of okay, I guess. But it doesn't rely on his SA.
True. Only one other unit has it on charge right now, that'd be Daikoku. But I believe he has a hard time getting it on charge too. I guess Hermes would not have that hard time of getting it, as long as you really aren't moving him.
But then you start healing enemies unintentionally, probably.
Probably, yeah. Unless
The
you use
problem-
Judong.
The problem is that even if you don't move him, he's still going to lose CP from hitting enemies.
No, that's just to cancel out the CP he naturally gains for being magic type. So, it's effectively zero.
I guess, but you'd
What
still
if-
take like a lot of time to charge.
Yeah. The only way he's getting CP is if there's overflow from that, or if there's if he's just getting that 30 CP from another V, which again should be in practice not so easy.
What if you're hitting dead enemies?
Then he should get CP. Actually, that's a good point, but it's probably something you're
Well-
not going to be planning around.
The meta making Hermes hit dead enemies.
Wow,
So he can get
that's
CP.
like so big brain. You know, the best way to use this unit is to make sure everyone's already dead. But then it's like, why even bother using this unit at that point? What the heck?
I mean, I sometimes banked on hitting dead enemies in for like certain all rangers just to get that little bit of extra, but I don't have to do that these days anymore, really.
Yeah.
I had some comments in that I think it'd be really funny if there's like a use case for actually healing enemies. Like if there's an enemy that you wanted to keep alive. But that probably won't ever happen. I don't know though. I also like his voice. It's a really good voice acting, I think.
I haven't heard it.
I've used it a few times, but I still can't remember it. Maybe I'll pull him out and try to check it out myself.
I think
Sorry.
his base costume is kind of dumb, but the other skins are
Yeah,
sort of nice.
Yeah, I
Alright.
actually like the Santa outfit more than his like homeless outfit, because he is kind of like supposed to be like wandering. You can see like the sleeping bag in his skin.
I like his first skin with this hood because it covers as much of him as possible, because I don't like how he looks. Anyway.
It's too weird. It looks like he came out from Live a
Assassin's
Hero
Creed.
or something.
Oh.
I don't know. I think like the shininess of his clothes is just really off-putting, especially in his like casual outfit.
Spandex for you.
He kind of does look
No,
like
the
he's from the
casual
hero,
outfit.
actually. Oh, the casual.
Like the t-shirt, like his t-shirt is like abnormally shiny.
That's just spandex, isn't it?
A blue t-shirt?
Oh, do you mean like in his other skins or something? Not the
Yeah.
one. Oh,
Yeah, his casual outfit, like where he's just like homeless.
homeless. No, I don't
mean,
remember.
He is homeless. Like,
Is he
he
actually?
has like
Damn.
he has like a sleeping bag on his like, and it's like on his. He's like wearing it on his back.
Does that
I
make
think they
someone
mentioned it
grifter?
in like
Yeah, that was in his description, I believe. Grifter or something like
Yeah.
that.
But he doesn't have
Yeah.
the drifter skill.
Well, whatever. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, Hermes, I think I'll have some long-term usage overall, because if Milk is right, then those statuses will really be exclusive to Hermes, and unlike Poison Reversal, I see these having a lot of general usage for many challenge quests.
I think it might be a bit too big brain for that, but
I feel like half of the videos, like when I'm making a challenge quest video, it's like I always follow this, like this tree of asking like, am I doing a scaling damage meme or am I doing a flat damage meme? So it's like, Hermes adds some interesting mix to it.
I feel like the tree is starting to become. Should I do a big brain thing or should I do a small brain thing?
Well, I kind of
Yeah.
did break taking this time.
Yeah, that's sort of like what I do, except I choose the big brain thing that is actually small brain thing.
Like the Suzuka meta.
Yes.
Oh, that's big brain. Like, come on, like everybody else is using Linan, and I had to like read everybody just say, just use Linan. It's so easy.
Yeah, but
People
if you use
post a
Suzuka,
video-
you can have a 30% chance of that charm hitting everyone. And
like people are using
when-
Linan Kasuga in this quest, even with the restrictions. It's so disappointing.
Kasuga? Seriously? Jeez.
Yeah,
weren't they,
it's not
weren't they
video,
on your,
they're posted.
weren't they on your comments, Ara?
I mean, someone. Yeah, I saw a bunch of them, and none of them followed the restrictions except for one guy who's like, I used 4-star Horkei Okami. I was like, this guy is legit. All you other people, get your shit together. What is this? Right? Right? Somebody use Valentine's says. This is like, doesn't fit any of the categories. What the hell?
Didn't one of the Nomad stands use like Island Nomad and like Melusine 4? I was pretty impressed by that.
That.
Is it Mark?
I mean, I would be more impressed, but it's like, it's not exactly hard quest either way. Horkei Okami though is low range, so I was mildly impressed by that. So
Oh, it's actually quite easy with him. Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyways, let's not talk about how diverse the strategies are for such a mediocre quest. Yeah, if that's all we have to say about Hermes, since it seems we're not even talking about him anymore, then I'll just read the comments if that's all right.
No, it's not alright.
All right. Then.
Sure, it's alright because it's getting kind of late.
No, we need to talk about ARs on Hermes. Okay.
No.
Read the comment.
What ARs are forget it. It's the son of Zeus. His name is a Greek's name. Okay, Hermes. For being a permanent unit, I think he is the best one in the banner besides Nomad. Really interesting gimmicks and pairs well with Shenong. Does he pair well with Shenong? I don't know about that. Hold on,
I
I
mean,
need.
you revert like 200 HP, right? Is that poison?
Yeah, I guess it would be double healing, but poison, flat damage has never been that impressive, anyways.
It's just healing 200 or 300 or something.
See,
like
that's
that.
what poison reversal should have been, But
Might as well just say,
they
like,
didn't have the technology at the time, understandable. But this is honestly what reversal should have been. This is true reversal, actually reversing, not just adding some counteracting effect.
might as well just say like pair him with like Festival Ryota to like give minus 900 HP to enemies or something.
Yeah. There's many usages you can use, and not all of them are amazing, but the fact that we can have this conversation really shows how Hermes has a lot of options available to him, despite apparently being, at first glance seeming to be restricted within the flat damage world. He has that rare buff that I didn't know. Only him that he can do it from that buff and debuff. I mean, yeah, he is the first to release it. He just came out in the current event. Getting hit feels like nothing like Yeah, I was just double checking what it would be like to be hit with his damage reversal. And it plays the attacking sound effect that when you initiate, but every time the individual hitting unit, it plays the regeneration effect instead. So that's a bit weird. This dude cucks every form of Mephistopheles' friendly fire. Clown on clown violence. Does he? Wait, he would he would reverse it, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
we have
no, so conflagration and price of contract
Oh yeah.
only work with his CS buff. They don't work with the
Right.
base
The HP loss reversal applies to skill effects and status effects, but it should not apply to attack damage. And configuration and Mephistopheles is a price of contract debuff. They modify the attack damage. They don't actually act as an HP skill effect or status effect. So yeah, that's a bit sad, but whatever. Let's see. Hermes just likes he reverts the enemy's damage to heal units. What? Hermes just likes to revert the enemy's damage to heal units. Yeah, that's pretty much what he does. Yoritomo will be the meta in 2022. Stop making Yoritomo this thing. He doesn't even take away that much health. I'm guessing that his Japanese voice is the same one that he voiced as Yamasachi Hiko, like Kisuke Uruhara from Bleach. Oh, that's him? Seriously? Damn. Dark Tech, I do not know what that is. We're close to the end anyway, but I got a dip.
Oh, you might want to. I think that's a spam bot.
Oh, is it? Well, it's not leading to anything, so whatever. We're close to the end anyways, but I got a dip. Oh no, Jean Rivera! No. Sorry about your Osei again. Well, fingers crossed if you're still watching for whatever reason. Good luck with the rest of the event, if you have enough energy to play or not. Finished my finals, and I'm just about ready to leave the union and go home. Well, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm glad how LifeWonders got the design of Hermes, what he looks like. I don't like his design, honestly. He's just generic twink boy with, like, wing ears or something. And then spandex.
The winged ears is pretty standard stuff, but I don't know about that outfit.
I hate that.
I was like, he looks like a superhero. I was like, what the heck?
Oh no! Arrow! They're spreading!
Oh no, it is spreading. Okay.
The bots are spreading. We need to finish the stream fast before
Delete.
the bots take over.
Hold on. I need to Mikami from Dust Note. Where is the comments? The comments is not updated on my side. Never mind. I'll just have to delete it after the fact. I'm glad how LifeWonders got design of Hermes and it looks like I read that. Bye, Osei Stan. Ouch, Harvey, seriously, bruh. I use Christmas Melusine as my main damage healer for the high difficult quest. That is an okay choice, I guess. I believe she does weakness or something, so it's an okay one.
Christmas Melusine is never okay.
For grinding, she gets the job done. Anyways, thank you for joining. And except for whoever is saying Fractech, you can go die. Yeah, that is it. That is it. Let us just close the stream off, take out the end card, and give our final thoughts on the event and this banner and all that. So what do you guys think of this event?
I do not care about it, but who knows? Milk says the story is pretty great. I haven't read it or read anything that leads into it, so maybe at least the story is good. I really don't care about any of the characters, but at least we got an Odin plushie, and that is what matters.
Yeah, I don't like any of the characters really either, but in the event story, they're like all pretty fun. So yeah, I think it was like really interesting how they did the split branches. So I hope the JP audience enjoys it as much as I did.
Oh, I forgot to say something. I am really happy about the missions being back.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh, I mean, it was here since Christmas last year, So I'm happy for that too, but I feel like it's also just gonna be this Christmas again. I really hope it'll last more than just this Christmas and I'll keep it up, but no, it's not, so.
I'm kind of like okay with the missions at the moment, just because right now I'm still kind of bitter that everybody just keeps saying, use Linan for this quest. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that was, to be fair, it was better this year than it was last year, because last year there was water units allowed for the level 81. This was just some garbage level 61 that was easy even without Lianin, so who cares, is what I say.
Yeah. My opinions are the same. That I don't care about any of the units on banner. I don't have any attachment to any of them. I think Hermes is alright. But besides that, since I don't read the things or haven't read them in a while, there.
Zalgus, you have a lot to catch up with, even among the actual translated material. What the heck?
I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Full confidence there.
Hermes is actually my favorite character from the event story.
Oh, is their personality that good? Interesting.
Yeah, I think he's like very, very interesting.
I know that's weird for me to point out, but like I actually am a fan of characters with not just goody two shoes, but interesting personalities with flaws and with quirkiness and all that. And sometimes, like my impression with a lot of units are just like they're cute or they have a good kit, but rarely do they have an interesting personality.
no, their personality is that they have depression and we must solve it.
Shut up.
That is the personality of every Housamo unit.
I hate it because it's true half the time.
Yeah, he doesn't really have depression. So I don't
Doesn't
think that's
really
applicable.
have it. Okay, that's good. Well, I will just have to look forward to seeing it 3 years from now, I guess.
I did read like a small snippet of his appearance in the chapter, and it seemed interesting enough that he seemed someone who was like always on guard or something, waiting for the opponent to make the first move.
Yeah, that's basically how he acts. It's very interesting, I think. Especially how it because like almost like everybody just like simps for the main character, and he's kind of like not really that early on.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that LifeWonders isn't just buffing the art and the kits, but also the character development. I feel like the story's been incredible in many senses for the main quest, but so actually the characters haven't been kind of so for me themselves. So thanks for letting me know. I will look forward to the next 2 challenge quests whenever they come out. I'm very glad they decided to deal with water first. Honestly, they could have done without doing water at all, since water has always been busted. But the fact that they did that for the weaker one means there's still hope for the next 2 challenge quests. And I'm not going to be playing anymore for this banner. Actually, after my last stream, I decided to do 2 more multis. Big mistake for Benten. Before we forget... Sorry, go ahead.
I am looking forward for the Aether Restriction challenge quest and people clearing it with Shinya, thanks to his new skill evolution.
Even his charm or whatever.
I kind of like how... Yeah. I kind of like how LifeWonders is doing all these new features. Like all these like weird gameplay, like timings, status effects. And then they brought back event missions. I kind of feel like they're like caring more about gameplay. I don't know if that's like a weird...
I told you can scroll back to my previous streams. I was telling you when Lianin was released, and ever since then, that Lianin would be the sign of good things to come. And everyone's bemoaning how she killed gameplay. But instead, LifeWonders compensated by making challenge quests, started making kits more interesting, and here we are.
Honestly, I feel like it started way earlier before Lianin, to be honest. Well, it started in 2019, in my opinion. Right at the start of 2019, when they started to actually make all the units sort of good. There was always duds, obviously, but they were all surprisingly really good from that moment.
Well, I would disagree. That was the first time they started releasing really good units, but not consistently, because then we got fucking Nightmare, which was not like no good units at all.
Honestly, Nightmare, you have to remember that Nightmare was a delayed event. So
She was okay.
I actually kind of do believe that those kits were actually planned for 2018 and not 2019. So yeah.
But
Honestly,
yeah,
I'm talking about like way later though, like since Summer River Adventure, because like there's the weird weapon ranges, the weird like status. I think the skill bestowing status effects were with Summer River Adventure, right? Yeah. So like ever since then, I feel like they've like been experimenting.
they've been experimenting for a while. But yeah, I agree. I'm glad they're adding more effects and added some asymmetry, and they're not just adding variations of what's already there, but literally changing the mechanics of the game themselves to allow for new stuff. And I'm very happy for that. And it's been the trend ever since Leanne and She. So thank you, Leanne and She. God bless her soul.
But Leanne didn't introduce anything new.
Yeah, but she forced the rest of the game to meet that challenge that she set up in terms of how good she was.
I mean, that's nice, but it doesn't stop people in the comment section saying, I beat this with Leanne plus unit.
True, but it's fine. I still use her too,
Ara,
so it's fine.
Well, Ara can go into my videos and say, I beat this with Leanne and Peach Kotaro.
Oh, you bet your ass I will. Okay. Oh yeah, I was about to say one thing before I close the stream. Anniversary is coming up. So you may want to buy some stones now from the monthly pack one, so you can afford it with the second monthly pack next month, since it's coming like $50 or something like that.
Right?
The grab bag, yes, which requires paid stones. So it's a bit too late to get enough for both banners, the air banner as well as the transient one. But you might want to consider start buying it now. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Also, this is a reminder that the anniversary exchange ends within 5-ish days, so if you have not used your 5 golden tickets, please use them and don't let them expire and then complain, because you have had about like 4 weeks to use them now.
Zalgus! I want them to forget so that I can laugh at them after.
Rude. But the 5-star
one
ticket will
person's
not expire, so...
I mean, it's gonna happen to at least one person.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, it's not our fault at this point. And it was never going to be our fault either way. But, whatever. Since you're listening, you've been warned. Okay. I think that's it for the stream. Let's see. To be frank, mythologies are pressing. Bye. Stay safe, guys. Thanks, Prisma. Yeah, we are going to end the stream right now. So, thank you for joining. And we will see you after everyone is done Endwalkers and after the Hollies are done, probably. I don't know when
Honestly, who knows? Maybe they'll introduce
Probably.
skill evolutions for Mystic Christmas. Also, I found Zalgus.
Well, I'll be sure to give it like a clear berth away from the Hollies in that case, since I want my break too. But yeah, that's it then. You were saying something to Zalgus? Sorry.
No, he saw my character. But I can only assume we'll probably just do stuff for New Year's, since there'll probably be stuff to say there.
I'll figure out the schedule if it ever comes. Alright, thanks for joining, everyone. We are gonna say bye on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye!
Bye.